各位亲爱的网友，大家好。
Hello.
今天呢，我们还是这个题目，就是一
Today
招
we
降三
discuss
高
the same topics.
是哪一招？觉真？
It is a
对
cardiovascular
了
health
啊，
hack
是特
too.
别好哈。
And it's
这
about
八
Energy
卦天天
Bagua.
走，
How by
活到
practicing
99
Energy
这是
Bagua
我们
you
这
can
是
live a
暗
long
号
life.
哈，街头暗
That's
号
our
哈。
tagline.
对，所以这个八卦内功真是好的不
So
得了。
Energy Bagua
但是
is
亲情
indeed very
亲
good.
签的一些
So today we would like to share with you some testimonials.
啊，那么今天会有一些新的朋友呢，会来看我们这个节目哈。
Today we'll have new friends to watch our
三高有什么了不起？
YouTubes. They may be
就是
wondering
到
what's so
中年
special
还有
about the
很多
tree
当
highs.
今的人哈，20多岁，小青
Actually,
年
some people are
尤其
very
是一些
young, as
青年的
young
大学
as in
生
their
哈，
20s or
离开
even
父
in
母
their
之后，
universities.
好不容易说我
After
生
they
活自
live
由
on
了，
their own, they
晚
start
上
to
不睡
lead a
觉，早
carefree
晨不
life.
起床，
But they start to
胡
have
吃
very
海
bad
喝，
health
还
habits,
关键吃一
like
些
they
不
don't
健
wake
康
up
的
in the
食品。
morning and they
但
eat
是
very
一检查就
unhealthily,
知道了。
and after they
上次我们讲到
do some
台湾的几所大
checks.
学的调
We
查
talked
哈，
about last
多
week
数的
some
孩子
universities
都有
in
三高。
Taiwan.
你看，
A lot of
才有的
university
17、18
kids
岁啊，
also
就已
have
经
the
三
tree
高很
highs.
严
They
重
are
了。
very young and they have that.
那么，通常医生给了你警告之后，
So usually the
一般人都不
doctors
在
will
乎。
give them
三
some
高啊，
advice.
听说到处都是，
And
人人
after
都
that,
有，
we
有
realized
什么
that
了不
there
起
are a
呢？
lot of them that
那我
has
简单
the
跟你
tree
说
high.
哈，三高能带给你什么样的危害呢？
Let me tell you what are
第
the
一个就是，尤其是女士喜欢美嘛哈，先让你
yes.
皮肤变得
What
难
are the
看。
harms?
比如
First of
说
all, you will
干
look
斑
not
在
so
脸上，
nice
这
because
两
first
侧
of
哈，
all,
这个
you
颧骨
may
两
have
侧周
pigmentations
围
at the side
会
of your cheek.
先冒出来，而
So
且
you will
呢，
start to see
并
that.
不是擦一些美容霜
And
就能
it's not
好，
about putting some
它就长了
cream
一
that
批，
will
你去
cover
了
it.
之后还继续长，
Well, when you
就像
try
长
to
树一样，
remove
它
it,
根还
it
在
will
里头，
try to come
是
back
吧？
up again.
这
That's
个还是
because the
轻的呢，
root is there.
只是让你皮
This
肤
is
显得
quite
难看了一点。
not so
那么
serious.
再
It's
接下
just
来呢，
causing the skin
很
to
多尤
not
其是
so look
小
so
腿
good.
到脚，
For some, at their
溃
lower
烂，
legs, at their
它
calf,
不是光
they
长
may
点
start
斑
to
的
rot.
问题
They
啊，
may actually
整个
start to
溃烂，
have some
溃烂到不
pigmentation,
行，
some sign.
还没完了。
And not only
光
that,
溃烂完了之后呢，
they
它会
start
感染影
to
响到
have some
就是你的
bacterial
细菌哈，
infections
感染
because
影
of
响到
open
你
wounds.
的身体安全。
It will also
通常
affect
医
your
生
health.
会怎么办呢？
So what
对
will
不
the
对？
doctor do?
截肢，
They may
截
need
肢
to
是什么意思啊？
就是
amputate.
把腿锯
What
掉，
do you mean by
是手术似的，
amputate?
咔哧咔
They
哧咔
may
哧给
need to
锯了。
amputate the limbs.
反正就没腿了。
Basically, you
有
would
很多
lose
是
your legs.
要么锯指头、脚趾头，要么
Sometimes
就
they may
锯小
try
腿。
to amputate
最惨的说锯到
the
膝盖以
toes.
上，这
What's
是我
worse
见
is
过
that
的，
sometimes
就
they
是
may
由这个
amputate at the
三高
knee
中
and
糖尿
above.
病造成的。
And that's because of
啊，
the
锯
tree highs
糖
and
锯腿
also
啊，
because of the
还
high
有呢，
sugar, the
糖
high
尿
blood
病加
sugar.
高血压，它是难
So
兄
when you
难
have
弟哈。
diabetes, you have
然后
high
一个
blood
不行，还
pressure.
带着一个
Usually
到
they
两
come
个，
together
所以
in
两个到
pairs or
三个
even
一起
three
合
of
伙
them
了。
come together. The tree
当
highs
严重
come
的时候，
together.
也最常
And
见
when
的
it
失
becomes
明，
serious,
眼
you
没
may
看不
find
见事
people
儿，
losing their
就成瞎子
eyesight.
了，
They can't see.
恐怖吧？
That's very
你
serious,
本来你
isn't
说
it?
你从小确实没有眼球，你用听觉去感受世界哈，再拿一个拐杖到时候去这样，你可能适应也就这样子。但是因
If
为
you
你
have,
是可
if
以
you are
看世
blind
的
from
人，
young,
突然有一天
that's
眼睛失
something
明
that
了之
you
后，
are
哎呀，那
used
个
to
痛
it
苦呀，
since young.
也真
But
的不行。
if you
只能
have
拿
that
钱
when
来
you're
撞
in
墙撞
adult's
电线杆
life,
子，
it will
撞
cause
柜
a
子
lot
撞
of suffering to
哎
you.
呀，成天撞在身上亲一块儿紫一块儿的，
You
甚
may
至还
end
有
up
生命危
knocking
险
on
哈。
walls and
你
cause
看，
some blue
眼睛失
blue
明
blacks all
没
over
得
your
救
body.
啊。再者就是什么头昏头痛啊，
And some
头发
people will
懵
have
啊，
headache,
特别常见的啊。
and these are
这
quite
头晕
common.
之类的还算轻的了。再接下来啊，与这个有关联的哈，就是肢体走向麻木，还
Some
有
may
水
have
肿。
numbness in limbs
从脸上哈，其实这个水肿不光是腿脚，从
or
脸
even
上的肿
edema,
到身体的肿，到脚丫子的肿，
all
真的
parts
很
of
多
the
肿啊，
body.
手指头压
You
下
have
去之后
swollen
啊，
feet as well,
哎，
or
它那
even
个
swollen
压
limbs.
下去那个东西那个印儿，它一下上不来哈，它慢慢才能弹起来，啊，像一个软化的皮球。
So
它
the
就有一
body
种
is like
床垫儿叫记忆
a
床垫儿是吧？
softened
对对，
你屁股坐一下，
balloons,
会用手
and
，and
按
you
一
need
下，
to
你
press
的纹儿
it.
一
It
直在
takes
那
a
印
while
着，
before
很久
the
才慢慢弹
it
回来。
regained the
你的皮肤变
strength
成
and
这
come
样的，
back up
多
again.
可怕 怕呀，
So that
你
is
可不是
actually
第一
quite
常见的
serious.
是吧？所以的话，还造成了肾脏的问题，乃至
Some
肾
may
衰
have
竭
kidney disease
啊，肾衰
or
竭严
even
重的
have
洗
kidney
肾，也
failures.
不洗肾，说不定
They
就
may
早早
have
的
to
挂
go
掉
for
了。什么叫
dialysis.
挂掉？牺牲了，没了。
Otherwise, the
很
kidney
严
would be
重啊。
useless. So
啊，
that can be quite
再来形
serious.
成肝脏疾病、
And
脂
also,
肪
some
肝、
may
脂肪
have
肝再
liver
过度的肝
disease,
硬化，
such
人
as fatty
也
livers.
看不到希望了，非常的恐怖。再就是心脏病，
and also
心脏病
cardiovascular
心力衰
disease.
竭到心梗，心梗一发作，人也就没了。
And what that happens when you have a
非常
heart
恐怖
attack,
我在那个
that's people may
网络
just
视频
cease,
哈，今天网
may
络可
just
发达
died.
了，经常是说，哎，哪个老师正在给我们上课，
We have
突
heard
然一
that
抽筋，啪摔到地上，
sometimes some people is just
人就
some
走了。
like professors or
他经常
lecturers teaching
走到马路
halfway
边上哈，
and suddenly
你
they
走
have
路
a
可
heart
能靠路
attack
边
and
走
they died
啊，
suddenly.
叭一下就倒下
Or
去。
even on the street,
一
you
倒
may
下
see
去，
some
有的人
people
还没
just
摔死，来
suddenly
一
they
辆车
just
刹不
dropped
住车，
dead.
把他压死，还这样，还掉到臭水沟里去，
Some even
哎
drop
呀
to
特别的恐怖加
some
可怜
canals.
啊。
So that can be quite
那么
scary too.
再就是那个中风呢，哎，我上次讲过，最快速的当场一抽筋死了，就
We
当
did
场
talk
没有
about
更
it
多的
last
反
week.
应，
Sometimes they don't even have
而
time
有
to
的38
react
岁啊，因为台
because
湾
they
前
may
两
have
年
stroke
说有著名的
and
影星
they will lose
啊
their
等等的，
consciousness.
你说我们都觉得挺帅挺高的小伙子是吧？很性感，还说
We
因为
even
我
heard
们都感
about
觉
a
到他还
very
特别性感，
famous
死了。
artist.
也就是一
He
个
also
人
died because of
你看
this.
看多恐怖啊！那么再轻一点的话呢，就是瘫痪，
If it's not so
半
serious,
身
it
不
will be
遂，行
paralyzed
动不便，说
or
话说不清楚，
or
还
unable
有
to
五
or
官扭
language
曲，扭着一
impairment
边走行
or
了，
there's some
那口
cognitive
水哈喇子
impairment.
使劲流，他那个手动都动不了，抬不起
Sometimes they
来，
can't even move
非
their
常的恐
fingers,
怖啊！这有这么多
affect
的
their
这些问题，
mobilities.
这就是恐怖的三高啊！我说他像杀手一样，
This
步
is
步
how
过来，
serious the three highs
哎
can
太
be.
恐怖了。
对，所以师傅也是为了让网
It's
友们
silent
再更
killers.
重视一点，所以还得把这个
So
知
the
识再
reason
给
why
大
we are
家强
having
调一下。
this
嗯，
part
还
2
不
is
光是
because
这样，
Master want
我
to
们热心的
highlight
网友哈，
the
他就
danger
会
of
发来
this.
自己的一些那些问题，还有的与此相关的一些疑问，
And that's also
让我们来
because
解
some of
答
our
的。
internet
啊，
friends
那我今
have
天为
sent
大
us
家解
some
答，啊，也
some of the
同时
issues
呢
that they
会
face.
会，哎，
And that's from me want to have more
师
sharings.
傅教给我的哈，师傅教给我的
And my
对抗这
masters
个东西的一
also
些
taught
小
me
方法。
some special
这个
method
方法
to
呢，
deal with this.
师傅知道我这个大脑笨呢，
Well,
他
my
教我
master
的
know
都特
that I'm
简
not
单的
very
方法，
smart,
很
so he
简单
taught
有
me
效。
really
哎，
simple
我们找人
methods
试了一下，
and
可有效
effective.
了啊！
I
就
have
对
tried
治
this
三
method
高的
on
一
some
些
people,
小方法
and I
啊。
find that these
直
are
到
quite
今天
effective.
呢，大约2个
So
小时以
today,
后，我来
after
讲
2 hours, I will share with you
啊。
some of
先
these
听一听我
special
们
methods.
这个
But
我
first,
们各
let's
地的
listen
网
to
友
some
哈给我发
testimonial
来的那些
from
特别
our
好的
internet
这个
friends from
关于
all
这
around
三
the
高的
world.
故事哈。谁先来？
好的，师傅。
Would you
我
like to
先来哈
start?
首先是来自新加坡的一个见
First
证分
is
享。
from
师
Singapore.
傅好，我叫刘宝
She
珠，
said, Hello,
今年
Master. I'm
81
Liu
岁。
Baozhu.
我
I'm
向来喜
81
欢
this
吃
year.
淀粉类的
I
食
love
物，
starchy
比如
foods
说白米
like
粥、
sweets,
番薯、马铃薯、面
potatoes, sweet
包，
potatoes,
还有各
bread,
种
and
甜
different
食
types
和高
of
热量的食品，
candies
比如
and
说糕
high
点、花生
high
糖、
cakes,
月
some
饼、
cakes,
粽子
or
都是我
even
的最
moon
爱。
cakes.
我从
These are what I liked.
1994年开始呢，帮忙带孙子。
Since
我3年内
1994,
呀
I
就
have
新
been
添了5个
helping
小孙子。
my
到了98年，就4年以后呢，我的身体开始
helping
感
to
觉
look
很
after my
疲倦。
grandchildren.
起初我以为是带孙子太劳累
Initially,
了，
my body
到
begins to
后来
feel
呀，
very
说话的
tired.
时
I
候
thought it
下巴
was
有些
due
僵
to
硬，
looking
孩子
after
们
my
赶紧带着
grandchildren.
我去看医生。
But
通过体
upon
检才
physical
发现我患
examinations,
有糖尿病，
they found
空
out
腹
that
血
I
糖
was
指数
diabetics,
达到了14，
and my
而
fasting
正
blood
常
sugar
值是
index was
6.1以
14.
下哈。
The normal
那我开
value
始
was
就服
about
用降血糖的药
3.89
了。
to
几个月以
6.1.
后呢，血
So
糖
I
指数下
started
降了，
taking the
可是
drugs
才降到
to
8到
control the
9，
sugar,
还是没
but
有
it
达到
dropped to
正常
8.
值
It's
6
still
以
not
下，
very
而
normal,
且
still
这个值
considered
还是非
high.
常高的。我平时啊就
I
喜欢
love to
做饭，
cook on
做饭对
weekdays,
我来说呢，轻
and
而易
cooking
举，而
is
且
a
很
breeze
快
for
乐。
me.
可是自从我
But
有了
since
糖
I
尿
have
病，做
diabetes,
饭变得
cooking
好
has
麻
become
烦
so
呀。我需
troublesome.
要顾虑到什么
I
能
need to
吃，
worry
什么
about
不
what
能
to
吃。
eat and
只
what
要
not to
吃
eat.
错了东西，
As
血
long
糖
as
就
I eat
这
the
样
wrong
飙升，
things, the blood
一下
sugar
子
will
就要
soar
到
to
11到
11
15
to
那么高
15.
哈。
So this is
平
way
时喜欢
beyond
吃的那些
higher
美
than the
食
normal
我都
level.
没忌口，
I
可是我
try to
好几次
quit
我
a
还
lot
是
of
控
foods
制
I
不了。
love, but
那虽
some
然我
days
一
I
直
still
在
find
吃
it
降
hard to
压降
control.
糖药啊，但
Although
是
I've
血
been
糖指数
taking
还是
the
无法改善。
chronic drugs, the blood sugar index still cannot be improved. It has hovered between 8 to 11. So in 2011, I can't really just take medication, so the doctor asked me to start taking insulin. I was very resistant and insisted on continuing to take the medicine to control the blood sugar. In that way, my dosage continued to increase from 2011 to 2015. And from taking one type per day to 3 to 4 types of drugs per day. But even after taking so many medicines, my blood sugar index is still high and cannot be lowered to normal. So in 2019, in June, I had a heart attack and I needed 2 stents. After being discharged from the hospital, because I neglect the management of blood sugar, because I focus on recovery of surgery, 2 months after the operations, I suddenly felt dizzy. And I went to see the doctor and found that the blood sugar index soared to 20. That's really high. So the doctor asked me to be hospitalized and take insulin until the index dropped to 8. After I was discharged, I still insisted on relying on drugs and not taking insulin. So until May 2022, the drugs can no longer control the blood sugar. So I started taking insulin and 5 kinds of hyperglycemic drugs every day. But the blood sugar index was still at 9. So at that time, my daughter heard about Master's Energy Bagua's testimonials and teachings, so she started to encourage me to practice Energy Bagua. In order to urge me to practice Energy Bagua every day, my youngest daughter would accompany me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in order to accompany me to practice. And Saturday, Sunday, my youngest son took part in the basic Bagua classes so that he can walk with me on the weekends. So remaining Tuesday and Thursday, the children worried that no one would supervise me or make excuse, so they asked a maid to practice with me. So in this way, I have someone to practice with me every day. I was very touched by the filial pieties of my children, so I practiced Energy Bagua very seriously every day. And about half a year of doing Energy Bagua, my blood sugar index dropped to 5 to 7. So that's a normal level. The doctor is very satisfied. I'm so happy. Now, I don't need to eat anything like before. I just have to be careful not to overeat high sugar and starchy foods, and my blood sugar can be kept very stable. Also, my memory has become better. I'm full of energy, and my steps are lighter when I walk. I'm not the only one who has benefited. Even my mate's face used to be dull, but her face has brightened up, and she lost 3 kg. Because I practice Energy Bagua daily at home, my neighbors become interested and start to practice with me. Thank you, Masters, for allowing me to gain my health back. I don't feel like I'm 81 years old. I feel that I'm really young and I lead a happy and healthy life. Thank you, Master. That is a very good sharing. So the blood sugar has been controlled. It's not easy because normally what's the normal level? It's 6.1 and below. That's the level. That's a healthy level. Actually, there's a range. It's 3.89 to 6.1, but we just consider 6.1. For her, she went up to 20. That's really high. Because if you continue to have such high blood sugar, your body will not be able to accept it. So from she started to be a diabetes to now, actually if the diabetes is not controlled, it will be worsened. So it started with 1, and then from 1 medications, and then 5 types of medications, and even she had to do insulin injections. She mentioned that in 2019, she had a heart attack, and because of that, she needed to put in 2 stents. And a lot of time, people have heart attack is because of thickening of the blood, and also because of blood sugar. So the risk is high.
那就是心梗了呀，
有可能就心梗就过去了。
那就拜拜了。
对，但是幸亏及时的还放了支架。
So luckily she had a stent on
所
her.
以三高呢，就是难兄难弟啊，一起带着。
So that's why the 3 high are
这方
related.
面出问题就那方面出问题。
它会相互发展，好像，
对对，是， 还真是个问题。
不过这个故事当中非常有温情。
What is very interesting in the stories is that the daughters and the son, they first learn Energy Bagua. They learn about the benefits of Energy Bagua, how it can reduce the tree highs, and they try to ask mom to practice. So they are very filial because they try to spend time with her. I feel that the children are very filial. They practice with the mom. And not only that, there are 2 days nobody practiced with the mom. So that's why the maid also help. And that's why even the maid also benefits from the practice of Energy Bagua. Not only her face brighten up, she even lost weight. Lost 3 kg, the maid also lost 3 kg. That's really good benefits.
真的是最有孝心的一对孩子们了。
哦，真好啊！
救母亲啊！
They saved the mom. So she's 81, but she feels really, really healthy. She didn't feel like she's old.
真好。
That's great.
我送她呢一
So
盒
I
东方
have
美人茶
a
哈
Oriental
其
Beauty
实东方美
tea.
人茶呀，也是对于降三高
It helps to reduce the tree highs, very effective. It is part of the green tea and it helps to reduce the tree high better than the poorer tea. Wishing you health, longevities, and auspiciousness. The family will be able to have tea together. Thank you, Master. So now we have another sharings from Malaysia. Hello, Master. I am a retired teacher.
6月通过朋友介绍，我每天坚持走八卦。
And I've been practicing Energy Bagua since the MCO. Besides practicing Energy Bagua, I also practice MGI. And all the practice, I also benefits a lot. My tree highs also become normal. And in the past, whenever I had a little bit of rains, I need to take a lot of medications before I recover. But after I practice Energy Bagua, I do not have flus. Until now, I don't feel that I have fever or cough. My high blood pressure problem has troubled me for 5 to 6 years. When I take the cholesterol-lowering drugs every day, my cholesterol was very high. It's about 5.5 to 5.8. But every time when I draw bloods for physical examinations, I need to look at several places to draw bloods because of thick blood. The doctor says that it's caused by my high cholesterol. So the problem of high blood pressure has troubled me for 4 years. My blood pressure is as high as 190 and 80. And I have to take one very strong anti-hypertensive drugs every day. But my blood pressure is still above 160 and 80. And because of this, I always have giddiness. Every time when I squat down, I will feel dizzy. Someone has to help me to stand up, or I could only step up by leaning on the wall. And I dare not move forward until a short rest. So the problem of high blood pressure also affected my mood swings. Whether I'm too happy, too angry, or too sad, it will cause me headaches. Every time when I have a headache, I will have to lie in bed to adjust the breathing. I need to rest for a while to relieve the pain. In 2018, I had hyperglycemia, and that's above 6.8. The doctor always advised me to take hyperglycemic drugs, but I just wanted to control it through diets. After dieting, although my blood sugar did not rise, it did not drop either. After I practiced for more than a year of Energy Bagua and MGI and watched the webcast of Grandmaster, I became healthy. In 2020 September, the doctors did a test and I dropped a lot to 4.76 and I'm able to draw blood easily. So my doctors asked me to reduce my drugs intakes. After I practiced Energy Bagua for 1 year and 9 months, I went for another checkup and my blood pressure dropped to 144 and 74. That's normal already. So from a very high dose medications, they reduced to a normal dose. After I practiced Energy Bagua for 3 years, my blood pressure is now at 120, is 130 and 80. That is a very healthy level. And not only that, on empty stomach, my blood sugar also dropped at a very normal level at 5.2. That's a normal level. And it is always hovering between 5.2 to 5.7. That's within the acceptable range. So through practice Energy Bagua, all my 3 highs are back to normal. The doctor was very surprised by my result, and the doctors asked what did I do. So I told the doctor that I've been doing exercise like Energy Bagua. The doctor was very happy and encouraged me to continue exercising. I cherish the meditation methods that Master taught us. I persist in practice Energy Bagua. I also practice the meditations of greater eliminations and do chanting. Not only that, I also try to encourage the teachers in our schools to practice Energy Bagua. There are currently 6 teachers who are taking Energy Bagua with me. I'll continue to spread Energy Bagua to benefit more people. Thank you, Master. I'm very grateful to have met you. I'm so happy for her. Because for her, she has a 3 high. And we can really see the change. First, she has high blood sugar, and then she has thickening of blood. So you have all the 3 highs coming together. And it's important to manage that. For her, she didn't have the issues for so long. She had the issues for about 5 to 6 years. But that's quite serious because that's a considerable long time. She practiced for 1 year and 9 months, and the 3 highs are now managed. And she still insists on practicing Energy Bagua. So indeed, just one hack and cure the 3 highs. She must be a teacher. So if you look at her, she's not those fat, but she too get the 3 highs. Usually people who have 3 highs, they tend to be a little bit fat. But even if they are slim or skinny, they too can have that. So you must be careful. Even if you are thin, you may also have the 3 highs. So her recovery was quite good. She has the determinations, and within 2 years, all this drops. And now, she brings her teacher's friends to practice Energy Bagua. So this is a demonstration of her Bodhisattva's nature. Because of her own benefits, she wants to bring these benefits to all. So that is a way of accumulating merits. So the accumulating merits not only for herself, she too gained the health back. And there are a lot of very auspicious things awaiting her. Because it is like helping others. So when we benefit from Energy Bagua, we must try to share with others. As long as you benefit, you want to bring your friends, so that more people can benefit together. So that is indeed a very good thing. So we have a present for her. This is a Zibit, 70, 80 years old Zibit, and that's for her. And I also have a kettle for her, a clean kettle for her. Wishing you health, longevity, and auspiciousness. Thank you, Master. Next, we have a sharing from Toronto, from North America. Hello, Master. I'm from Toronto. And when I was 55 years old, because of work pressure and also of menopause, my body is always very weak, lack energy, and I have severe body weight loss. I thought that's a sign of menopause. When my friends saw that, asked me to go for a checkup. So I went to see the doctor, and the doctor immediately said that I need to go for an emergency because the doctor says that my blood sugar is as high as 25, which is really high and scary. When I go to the ER, the doctors gave me a full body checkup, and the doctor says that your blood sugar at 25, all your organs are in high sugar level. When I heard that, I was scared, and the doctor says that it is important to reduce that. But the problem with this is that it is an autoimmune diabetes. This is a bit hard to cure. And the medications will only dosage will have to increase. And the doctor says that within 15, he has been practicing for 15 years, he has not seen people of my conditions. Indeed, my blood sugar was very difficult to control, and I started to have 10 units of insulin. And not only that, I have to manage my diet. But my blood sugar continued to be at 11. It haven't dropped significantly. But the doctor says that based on my conditions, it is not too bad already. So I try to control through medications and through my practice and through the food control. I try to control the blood sugar. Because there are too much side effects. It affected my body, and I become even skinnier. And not only that, I also have hereditary high blood pressure. And during that time, I have to take medications to control, and I took traditional Chinese medication to control. So it was as high as 170 and 110. So that's much higher than the normal level of 130 and 80. So I need long-term medications to control. But because I'm a very sensitive by nature, so the doctors have to be very careful when prescribing medications for me. I was worrying about my health and couldn't find a way out. I was lucky enough to come to Bodhi. I saw many practitioners successfully control their diabetes through practicing Energy Bagua, so I started to learn Energy Bagua. After a few months, I felt that my physical fitness was getting better, I have more strength to do things, and my weight begins to slowly recover, and that gives me a lot more confidence. I began to practice more diligently, and after half a year of practice, all my physical discomfort disappeared. And my blood sugar is often about 5 level, around 3 or 4, and that is really the normal level. The doctor was very surprised because he knew that I had autoimmune diabetes. He thought that it would continue to deteriorate and I need to increase the dosage of the drugs. But after seeing that my blood sugar was under control, he asked me what I've done. I told the doctor that I was practicing a kind of exercise called Energy Bagua. When the doctor heard that, he encouraged me to continue practicing Energy Bagua and begin to reduce the dosage of my medicines. So I reduced my insulin, and also I stopped taking the hypoglycemic drugs. And after that, I continued to practice Energy Bagua. Sometimes when I'm tired from work and want to be lazy, I remember the scene at the emergency room in the hospital, and immediately I finished my Energy Bagua. Over the years, my blood sugar pressure, my high blood sugar have maintained really well. It's at 130 and 80 is completely normal. and my blood sugar is controlled at 4 to 6 level. And not only that, my physical conditions is getting better and better. I have more endurance than before, and I don't get tired easily. My thoughts also become positive and full of positive energy. Now, most people at my age are not so active as I am, but I'm very clear-minded. My son, who has a doctorate in the United States, often asks me for advice. He says that I'm very energetic and doesn't look my age. My colleagues always come to me when they have problems. They see the changes in me and say that I look younger and my skin's become fairer and tender. I'm not entangled in many things and I'm more complete. My strong woman personalities also become soft, easygoing, and generous. My relationships with my colleagues also improve, and my foreign colleagues call me Sister Fairy. They all know that I've been practicing Energy Bagua, and Energy Bagua has now become an important part of my life. And I also recommend these to my foreign colleagues, and they too benefit from practicing Energy Bagua. I hope that more people can benefit from Energy Bagua like myself. Thank you, Master. We know her as a good. Hers is a very special type of conditions. Because the doctor says that although he has been practicing for 15 years, he has not seen such conditions. So she has this autoimmune diabetes. This is a rare condition, and it's difficult to cure.
这种自身免疫性引起的任何疾病都是非常凶险，也很难治的。
Any autoimmune conditions is hard to cure, and it causes a lot of harm.
也是自身免疫系的那些紊乱造成的。还有自身免疫性引起的一些肾脏疾病。
Sometimes there are some autoimmune-related kidney disease because it is something that is a own internal systems, is own cells trying to kill the own cells. So it's something that's not so easy to cure.
他这个病例很难，一个是这个糖尿病这个类型很罕见。
For her, it's a difficult place because she has some hereditary high blood pressure, and she already had high blood pressure when she was in college. So this is something that's quite tough for her.
这两个点都是极难的。
What type of heredity she gets?
是，所以真的很难治。
So it's not easy to cure
他
her.
就是在医药都没有办法的情况下哈，他知道了师傅教的这个八卦内功。
But for her, she knows about Energy Bagua. She practiced for half a year, and many of these conditions have improved.
都可以说是医学上的疑难杂症。
So in fact, these diseases are hard to cure.
这根本没办法救治的病。
真的，
就降下来了。
So she managed to reduce her blood sugar through practicing of Energy Bagua. All these testimonials are genuine. These are real people with real cases. So the doctors even reduced the dosage. She also shared that she used to be a very strong woman, and because of this, she has a very strong personalities. It also affected her. But because she's able to persist her practice of Energy Bagua, she changed her personality as well. She became stronger at heart, but physically, the body, her characters becomes more easygoing and generous. That's the true benefits.
那不叫强哈，那叫泼哈。对，真正的强是内心的强大。
So a true great person has a big heart, and that's why she encouraged her colleagues, her foreigner colleagues, to practice Energy Bagua as well, because of her own benefits. Because the colleagues find that how she managed to control her conditions.
所以你看和她60来岁的人哈，一个是看那个相片的哈。
Even for her, you look at her, she doesn't look in her 60s. She herself don't feel in her 60s. She felt that her brain's capacity is still there. And the son, who is doing a doctorate degree, even asked her, "You look at her. Do you think she looks in her 60s? No. She's strong because of her wisdom. Not only she still have wisdom, she feels relaxed." So Energy Bagua has a lot of benefits, something that you cannot comprehend or even explain. So definitely we have a prize for her. I have a special blessed items for you. Girls love it. Look at this. Lapis lazuli. A pendant, and I think this will be very helpful for you. Wishing you health, longevity, and looking beautiful as always, and auspiciousness. Thank you, Master. And Master, next, we have another sharing from Singapore, Wang Guangmei.
她的分享怎么样的？她还有一个很强的抗中毒的这样的一个很好的效果。
Say hello, Master. I'm from Singapore, and I am 66 this year. Before I joined Bodhi, I have a lot of sickness. I have 10 years of high blood pressure. In 2012, I already have high blood pressure, and the level is at 165. I started without taking medications, but after that, somebody told me that if I don't take medications, I may have stroke. So after that, I started to take medications, but I have the habits of not taking the medicine on time, so the blood pressure index has not improved. So over the years, 1 to 2 times a month, I could feel that my scalp is numb and uncomfortable, and I need to rest for an hour or so before I continue to work. So after I being diagnosed with high blood pressure in 2016, I also found that I have a hyperlipidemia again. And my triglycerides index of 2.5, and the normal index is at 1.7. The doctor told me to pay attention to my diet and reduce my intake of sugar and refined food. He also said that if the index is too high, it may cause blockage of my blood vessels.
从2009到2016年，我还一直在一家制作信封和纸的手提袋。
So from 2009 to 2016, I work in a company that make envelopes, paper tote bags, and paper folders, and other products. And I have to work 10 to 12 hours a day, and my hands have to be in contact with super glue every day. After working for 2 years, I found that my fingers became very rough, swollen, sore, and numb. This caused a lot of trouble in life. I have to endure the pain in my fingers every day, and when I wash clothes, cook, and do housework, I feel the pain. And my temper becomes affected, and occasionally I lose my temper with my families and colleagues. I saw doctors and gave me some anti-inflammatory medications. I've been on them for 4 years, but no improvement. Later, I found that my hair is falling out very badly, and I think that got to do with my long-term exposure to superglue. I lose my confidence, and I don't want to meet people. There is an Energy Bagua practice spot near my house, and I pass it every day. Initially, I didn't pay much attention to it, but later, because of my health, I became interested in Energy Bagua. In 2022, I saw a video of Grandmaster JinBodhi's teachings Energy Bagua. So I tried to learn how to walk at home. In March, I joined Energy Bagua practice spot to study and practice Energy Bagua with fellow practitioners. After 2 months of practice, it happens to be the month of follow-up. The doctors were surprised to find that my blood pressure dropped from 165 to 125. And the doctor asked me what did I do during this period, and I said I practice Energy Bagua. And the doctor said, very well, keep doing it. And the doctors reduced my medications from 1 pill to half a pill. After 8 months, my triglycerides also dropped from 2.5 to 1.9. And the doctor said that it's basically normal. I was so happy when I hear that. Not only my blood pressure and my blood lipids have recovered, but my physical problem caused by superglues has also been cured. My fingers are no longer swollen, sore, and I can do laundry, cooking, and housework easily. I could do it quickly and easily. Also, the skin of the fingers became smoother and much softer. I also realized I have new hair growth. Some of the previously bald area has grown back, and some of the gray hairs also turned black. This made me regain my confidence, and I feel good about myself. I stopped throwing tantrums at my family or gave them black face. Now I treat them well. I am very fortunate to have met Master, to have met Energy Bagua. It helps me regain my health, happiness, and self-control and self-confidence. The effect of Energy Bagua is immediate. I want to introduce these methods to those who are suffering from illness so that they can regain their health and happiness. I will continue to practice Energy Bagua every day so that my body can be strong. With great gratitude to Master. I'm so happy when I hear her stories because she has 10 years and only took her 2 months of Energy Bagua and she's back to her normal level. So this indeed, one hacks really reduce the blood pressure. And it was 6 years. And it took also a short time to gain normal. We talk about this triglycerides level. It is also there's a level. So when you cross the level, it can become dangerous. And that's why the doctors also say that he needs to control his triglycerides level. So these are refined food that cause it to go high. So he needs to take less refined food. This is something that's very difficult to manage. She also said that she tried to control her diets, but it's very difficult. So she's very lucky because in February 2022, that was the first time that Master taught Energy Bagua to all. So she first started to do it herself at home. She practiced it herself at home. She said that she has seen people practicing Energy Bagua in the park, but that's because when her body started to show signs, and that's why she decided to move ahead to do something about it. Actually, indeed, people that come to look for us, that's because they have no way out, and that's why they try to seek alternate treatment, and that's why they come to seek us out. Because of her job, she needs to handle superglue. So indeed, she must have poisons from the superglue. Because the superglue contains some very poisonous stuff, and she gets numbness, and she even dropped her hair. Actually, we do not know what's included in the superglue, but we do know that a lot of time people will end up dropping a lot of hairs. Even a part already felt bald. So when you have poisons in your body, or these chemical poisons, it is very difficult to get out from the body. And that's why the doctors only gave some medications. But the medications can't really help to reduce that. I just want to say something. I suggest that our internet friends, from today onwards, try to reduce the sugar or reduce sugar completely. Because a lot of food itself already contains sugar. But we want to buy sugar. People in the South, they like to add sugar in their diets. They treat sugar as a form of seasonings.
有鲜味。
对，不管有什么味儿吧，反正多放了糖是不好的。
And that's not good. I encourage all from today onwards to reduce the sugar. Is chocolates considered as sugar? Yes. Unless it's dark cocoa, but nobody likes to eat that because people will find that it's too bitter. What about sugar? Yes, they have sugar, and the cakes have a lot of oil and a lot of sugar. And they have refined. It's considered refined food as well. What I want to propose is that you try to reduce or in fact eliminate the sugar. If you agree, you may want to leave a message. From today onwards, cut sugar. Have no sugar in your diets because your body cannot accept sugar. Because when you have diabetes, it's very problematic. You may end up having to amputate parts of your body, part of your limbs. So from today onwards, cut sugar. Try it for a month. Even in carbonated drinks, like Coca-Cola, because it takes in a bottle of Coke is 7 or 8 cubes of sugar. Or even the a lot of drinks, processed drinks, or even biscuits. So let's try to reduce sugar in our diets for our health. So if you agree, you may want to agree. Let's have a prize for her. Yes, indeed. I want to give a very special prize for her. Wow, that's beautiful. It's almost translucent. It is a very auspicious, blessed item. I hope that you will gain health, longevity, gain purity, and enjoy longevity. Thank you, Master. Next, we have Chen Xingqiang from Malaysia, from Ipoh. You say, hello, Master. I'm 50 this year, and I have inherited my mother's diabetes genes. And I was diagnosed with diabetes when I was 30 years old. The glycemic index was 11, and every morning I need to take 1 hyperglycemic drugs. At the beginning, the blood sugar would drop to 7 to 8, but the index was still high. So the doctor increased the dosage, taking 1 pill each morning and evening. After adding the medicine, the blood sugar index still did not improve. The doctor continued to increase the dosage, 2 pills in the morning and evening. And after that, the blood sugar, but the medicine was out of control, the blood sugar soared to 12. So the doctor suggested that I take insulin. Although I also controlled my diet, my blood sugar just couldn't drop. Not only that, I also started to suffer from high blood pressure and high cholesterol. My blood pressure is at 170 to 180. The normal is about 130. My cholesterol level is 8. The normal level is at 5.2. And I've been taking antihypertensive and cholesterol-lowering drugs for 10 years. My cousin once saw my feet and calves. They were black, and asked me what was wrong. And I told her honestly, my diabetes is out of control, and I can't control it with drugs. And I needed to take insulin. She encouraged me to learn Energy Bagua. I remember very clearly that I started Energy Bagua on June 24, 2022. and that's 4 months of practice Energy Bagua, I went to the hospital for follow-up in October 2022. The doctor asked me what I did because my blood sugar dropped from 12 to 4.4. That's the normal level. I just said, I just practice Energy Bagua. The doctor told me to continue practice Energy Bagua and reduce the amount of insulin from the original 30 units to 14 units. That's 50%. After 8 months of Energy Bagua practice, in February 2023, recently I went back to the doctor for the checkup again, and my blood sugar dropped to 3.8. The doctor said that I don't need to take insulin anymore. I just need to take medicines and observe. At the same time, my blood pressure also dropped from 180 to 135, and the normal level is 130. Before, I needed to take 5 antihypertensive drugs, but now I need to take 1. My cholesterol level also dropped from 8 to 4, and I only need to take half a pill. I'm really happy because Energy Bagua really helped me. My uncontrolled diabetes, high blood pressure, and high blood lipids all returned to normal after 8 months of Energy Bagua. This is simply unbelievable. My face was originally dull, but now becomes brighter. I'm really grateful to Master for being able to see the dawn of life. So for his case, he has inherited this disease from the mom. So although he was young, at 30 years old, he already started to have the disease. He was already diagnosed with diabetes. And 10 years later, he has the other 2 highs. Actually, the diabetes can be inherited. Diabetes can be quite serious. Yes, the 3 high is very easy to be inherited. I think a very high proportion of people inherited the 3 highs. That's quite scary. When you think about it, it can be quite scary. And for his case, his calf is already turned dark and black. It's quite at a dangerous level. And it's something that he didn't manage to control for 20 years. But luckily, the cousin saw it and encouraged him to practice Energy Bagua. And after he practiced, it becomes very effective. After 4 months, the conditions improved. And after 8 months, which is very recently, the 20 years of high blood pressure and high cholesterol level and high sugar all under control and now back to normal. Did he show us the pictures of him? Yes. He only has his pictures now, and that's after practicing for 8 months. So he didn't have the dark calves because he didn't take the pictures of himself with the dark calves. Because I think it's quite scary. Can you imagine the calves is dark? But his cousin saw it and quickly encouraged him to practice. Because the next step is that he may need to amputate his limbs. After seeing so many, I feel that a lot of time when they have 3 highs, the medications cannot control very well. And he practiced Energy Bagua, and within a few months, the max is like a year, and it can show the effect. So indeed, it's one method to reduce the 3 high. It gave a lot of people the confidence. Yes, that's amazing. The most we hear about this, the most we feel it's incredible, because a lot of people benefit from it. Thank you, Masters, for teaching us this special Dharma methods so that we have the opportunity to learn this and benefits from it. Anyway, our internet friends, if you hear of this and you are currently suffer from high, whether it's 1 high, 2 high, or 3 high, you may want to take this opportunity to learn this Energy Bagua, start practicing the Energy Bagua, and to control your conditions. But you don't wait for time, because when you reach the seriousness, reach the serious state where you need to amputate, that will be too late. So you must take responsibilities for your own health. So I have to have a prize for you. This fan is for you. Because Malaysia is very hot, so this fan will be for you. And we have another prize for you too. This is another exhibit. Wishing you health, longevity, and auspiciousness. And may you have happiness too. Thank you, Master. This is a beautiful exhibit. This is an agate. Actually, a lot of time, we do have a lot of agate handle pieces. We also have a testimonial on this. Really? In Singapore, there's a teaching. We'll have a sharing. Something that happened last week. Hello, Masters. On the 18th, I'm not sure why I injured the palms of my left hands. There was a big bruise, and it didn't hurt. So I immediately put the Agate handheld on the bruise. So it was cold at first, and then it felt warmed. And after 15 minutes, 50% of the bruise eliminated. So she continued to put it there and gently rubbed it. After 15 minutes, the bruise is completely lost. It takes about 30 minutes. So it just disappears. The magic weapons blessed by Masters is the invincible magical blessing power. I am grateful to Masters' protections and blessings. Wow, when you have such a bruise, it takes about 3 to 7 days to heal. But for her, within 30 minutes, after using this Agate handheld to rub it, it completely disappears. The conditions reminds me that when I was young, my masters recommended different type of blessed items to me. And my master says that the agate is one of the special treasures of Buddhism. Actually, in the ancient civilizations, they used this. In ancient times, agate was used for psychic and avoid evil spirits. Even in ancient India and Chinese ancestors, or even Mongolia, or in Central Asia, they too, they use agate. They recognize agate has a special ability to ward off evil spirits. It is considered as a very important stone. It has the functions of purifications because they find that agate, the properties of certain components stems from the universe, from heavens, and it have such a special formations. If today you go to the internet to search about it, it actually promotes blood circulations. And also reduce the blood pain, relieves the pain as well. It also enhances young energy. This is based on modern science to prove it, but the deeper part of it is using it to ward off evils, to help to it can also clear some calamities or also obstacles. It can actually effects of purifying and also replenish the human energy.
你像之前呢，我们在新加坡哈，
In Singapore
就是给人
before,
结缘了一些这样的，
we have
就是
some of
自
these
然型的，因为这个
different
大小的握在
shapes.
手里比较好，我们就没有去再做过多的
So
打磨。
because the shape
它
is
是
really
天然的
good,
这些
it's
纹
all
路哈，
natural.
带有它天然的
It is
能
all
量。
natural.
所以呢，那小孩子呢，其实他母亲去是自杀死的，
So the child, the
打完
mom
之后，
committed suicide
他没
and
有一
died.
晚上很顺利的睡觉，
So the child
在
couldn't
一
sleep
躺在那儿
well.
就觉得总有
Every
东西来
time
干
when the
扰。
mom sleep,
这样的，
when the child sleep, felt that
Eh.
something is disturbing
他
the
就
child.
请了一个这个玛瑙的
So the
一个
child
小东西
invited
哈，
this, a small
他就
item
卧
like
睡
this,
觉，他也不太懂
and
怎
she
么
hold
用
it
啊。
to sleep.
对，那一晚上他说我从来
And
长
at
这么
night
大
she said
没有
that
睡过
I've
那么
never
舒服
slept
的
so
觉。
soundly before.
哎，对
安神了。
对，所以有类似这种情
So
况
there
的
are
哈，
some of
无
this,
论是成年的还是
whether
小
you are
朋友，
adults
你
or
把
you're a
这个呢，
child,
你拿在手上，有
you
时候
just
会
hold
掉。
on,
但如
and
果你旁边有人睡觉，你一不
if
小心叭
someone
扔过
that
去
sleeps
砸到人
beside
身
you,
上了，
you may
把
hit
整
onto
个
the
包起
person
来哈。
next to you.
通常你这个呢，可以放在你的枕头旁边或者
Usually
枕
you
头
can
下。
put beside your
有时候你
pillows
的手心比较
or
燥热的
under
时候
your
啊，就是疲
pillows.
劳了，
Or
握
when
着
you
握一
feel
会儿。
tired, you may
你觉
just
得
want to
困
hold
意
on
来
to
了要
it.
睡的时候，把它放到
And
枕
you
头
want
旁
to
边
sleep, you
或
just
者
put
枕头下
beside
头，
your pillows
它
or
能
at the
够
base of it.
能够来镇守你的这个睡房。
It can help to
还有的上
protect
头我
your
们有个绳
bedrooms.
哈，你可以挂在你的床头，
Or you can actually hang
也
it
是可以的。
at the front
对，
of the
何况有
bed.
我加持，
And
但
it
是这
has
个
my
本身它就有
blessings.
辟邪的这样的一种
So you'll
能
be
量。
able to ward off
咱比如说
evils
呢，
and ward off
嗯，
negative energy.
那你现在尤其是在古代哈，
In the
我所知
ancient
道的
time,
呢，在宋代人认
in
为这
Song
是
dynasties,
传国宝
people
物哈，
feel that
用
this is
玛瑙
something they
雕
use.
刻的牛
Agate
头形的杯，
They
这
use
个
the
杯子干
cup
嘛呢？是给皇帝安眠睡觉用的。
to let the
那
emperor
皇帝
drink
也很累，
to
也很
calm the
烦，
emperor to
就内
sleep.
外大事都是
Because a lot of
国
time
家
the
级大
emperor
事，
has to deal with
他
a
也是
lot of
人呐，
matters at
人
national
的这个
level.
抗压力也是
So
有
he
限
needs
的。
to reduce
哎，
the
压力很
pressure
大，
as
睡不着
well.
觉。
And he
第二
couldn't
天一
sleep
早
at
天不
night
亮就上朝处理
because
国
he
务，对
needs
不
to
对？
deal with
人家要睡觉
the
啊。
the
所以
daily
有聪明
matters.
的寓意就是说，
So the
建议
royal
用这个
doctor
玛
physicians
瑙
use
磨成这个水杯，
use an agate
哎，把
cup
水呢放在这个里头，
and pour water
通
into
常
it.
呢它是放一天，
Usually they
这
put
个
it
早
for
晨
a
就
day.
倒进去了。
So they
哎，
put it in the
那
morning,
今天早晨皇帝把它喝完了之后
and
啊，
after
头
that
一
the
晚上呢
emperor would
又倒
drink
进
it.
去又放一宿，
So the next
到了
the night would
晚
put
上临睡
there
前
again before
把这一个
before
水杯
bed.
的水喝掉的。
Before bed, the
放到
emperor
玛
would
瑙杯
drink
里。
it. Drink it from the agate
对，咱
cup.
拿这个玛瑙，天然的玛瑙哈，
This
我们
natural
只是人
agate.
工的打磨了一下而已哈。对，人工打磨了一下。那把这个呢，我们用模仿这个方法。
So
把
we
它
use
先
this
洗干净
method.
之后，
We
放到你的
wash
大
it
自然里
clean,
头，里面放了
put
能
into
喝的
the
自然
bowl
水
that
啊
you can
或者矿
drink
泉水，把它放进去，
or mineral water,
也一
put
样。
it in there.
这个水
It
呢会
has the
净
same
化，
effect.
也增
The
加了它的
water
气
can
场，
purify
使
and
我们睡得安
detoxify
心，
it
睡
and
得
allow
踏
you
实。
to calm.
那么喝的这个水呢，就增加了你的身体的
When you have
阳
washed
性
it and
正能量，
placed in
这
the
样就
drinking
避开
water,
那些邪
the
气
water is
污
purified
浊之
after a
气，
few
哎，
hours,
人就睡得安心了。
and you will not have heart
还
and
有
brain
呢，这
discomfort.
个给你的孩子开智慧，
And it also helps the
哎，之前我
child
有类似
to
教过的哈。
open the
你拿这
wisdoms
样
and
的，
calm the
把
child.
这个和我们的天珠，还有我们的南红这些宝物，
Because
还
a
有玉
lot
石
of
的都
all
可以
this,
哈，
you can use
在
some
孩
of
子头
this.
顶上不要挨着它，
Do not press
离
hard
开点
onto
距
the
离。
head.
他
Just
比如有
keep
些孩子睡着
a
了，
distance,
有些
especially
睡
when
着
the
一般
child is
孩子不
asleep.
老实啊，他又翻又
Because a
闹
lot
又
of
玩
time
儿
the
对
child
不对？
refuses to
睡着了
sleep.
之后，
After the
父
child
母亲
sleep,
拿着这个
you just use
这个宝
this,
物呢，
this special
头顶
blessed
上空，
items
把你的祝福加
to
进去
give
哈。
the
所以我
blessings
现
to the
在这个
head.
手势叫逆时
So
针，
you do
逆时针
anti-clockwise
就是手表走的方向是反过来，这叫散。
to get
散
rid
掉
of
这个
it.
孩子的病气、
Get rid
烦
of
恼
all
气、
the
污浊
negative
的气、
energies
疲劳的气。
and
啊
all the tiredness from
那么
the
之后呢
head.
大概
And
36
after
天
that
之后呢，再开始顺时针，
And then you go
让他
clockwise
聪明、
and wishing the
智慧、
child to have
健康、
wisdoms, to have
快
health, to have
啊，又乖
happiness,
巧听话，
and to
将来
be
呢
good.
金榜题名，
And the
事业
future
有成，
will be
娶个好媳妇
successful.
儿，嫁个好郎君，你把你所有的美好
All
的
the
祝福都嫁给他
beautiful
这个孩
wishes
子哈，
you gave to
你
your
会发
child.
现2个月以后，你发现
And
这
you
个孩
find
子
that 2
聪明
months
了，
later,
乖巧了，懂
the
事了，
child
考试
becomes
成绩
much
提升了。
better.
太好了。
That's
听起来
great.
这个能起那么多作用
You
吗？
may think this is
是
so
的，是的。
effective. Why don't you
就
give
像
a
八卦内
try?
功一样，你不
It's
走不
just
知道，
like Energy
走一
Bagua.
天都
If
不
you
行，
don't
你
practice,
走3个月
you
就
will
会
not
发现
know.
那个
After
真
you
是不一
practice,
样
you find it
啊，特别
indeed
有效
it
果
is
哈。
very different.
所以
It is
像这
very,
样的
very
宝贝石
effective.
头也一样子，有一个美好的祝福，
It
然后
has
它
my
本
good
身就有
blessing
很多的功用在。
and it has a lot of benefits in
哈。
it.
太好了。
我们的天珠也一样，
So our
但是
zibits
天珠
has
不
the
要去
same
泡水
effect.
啊，因为它有人工加工的更
But
多痕迹
zibits
哈。
never
但是这些
put
是自
into
然
the
的，
water, but
更
these
好，
are
整
natural.
个就是天然
These are
的。就
actually
是我们
better.
请人打磨抛
We
光了
just
一下，
ask
这样
people
不刮
to
手，
polish
这
it,
样子哈，
and
所以
that's
特
about
别
it.
好。
So it's very, very effective.
那我们这个玛瑙的手把件呢，在亚洲慈悲医
So you can find it in Asia Tsubeing and North America Tsubeing. You go and pick
我
something
们
that
很
you
多宝贝
like.
就是一批一批的，这一批销售完之后啊，就不知道什么时候能找到第二
So
批。
everything we buy in batches.
你喜欢哪个？
So we have the number.
定
You
那个
say
编号
which one that you like and pick the number that you like.
感恩师傅。
These are special blessed items by
接下
Shifu,
来
my
呢，给
masters.
您讲带来一个新的案例哈。
Masters,
这
we
个
have
很好
another
玩
one.
它虽然不是三高，但是呢，它也是因为
Although
我
it
们
is
不同
not
饮
about
食
tree
胡吃
high,
海喝会很容易引起的一种常见病。
but he has also
给
the
您来一起
sickness
分享
that's
一
very
下
common too.
来自于我们台湾
This is
嘉义
from
的林
台湾
宏业先生
嘉义
他的一个见证。
洪岳先生。
师傅好，我是林宏业。
Hello,
今年
Master. I'm
57
Lin
岁
Hongyue.
我爸爸
I'm
和哥哥
47.
都有痛风。
My dad and
我
brother
自己
have
又是
gout,
常年累月的
and I
胡
suffer
吃
from
海
gout
喝，
due to
结果我的
excessive
尿酸
eating
值
and
升高
drinking.
到了8.5到9，那么正常值呢是7，是临界线哈。因为尿酸过高
Because
造成了
of the
痛
high
风
uric
已经有
acids,
10年了。
it affected
最
me
初
for
是
10
3到
years.
4个月发作一次，
Initially, I
后
have
来变成每个
it's
月都
about
发作。
3 to 4
第
months
一
I
次
have
痛风发
I
作的
have
时
a
候，我
relapse,
的脚
but
趾
now
红
I'm
肿
quite
发烫，
common.
而且很痒。
And
双脚
now
痛
I
到
have
无
a
法
lot
走
of
路，
my
得
feet
立
are
即
very
赶到诊
painful
所
and I
打
couldn't
止
walk
痛针。
and I have to
上
go
午
to the
打了针，
hospital
要到
and the
下午
clinic
才
have to
能走
give
路。
me a
可
painkiller
是有一次
injections.
我半
And
夜
after the
痛风突
injections in the
发，
morning, I
严重
couldn't
到
walk
需
until
要
the
太太骑着
afternoon.
摩托车
But
载
once the
我到
gout
医院
relapsed
急
in the
诊。
middle of the
太
night,
太
it
一
was
路
so
搀扶着
severe
我走
that I
入医
needed
院。
my wife
那时
to
候
ride
医
a
院
motorcycle
很
to
多人，
drive me to
大
the
家看到
emergency
一个
department
大
of the
男人
hospital.
让一个女
And
人
my
搀扶
wife
着
had to
艰
help me
难地
all
走
the
着，
way into
我
the
内心
hospital.
很无
And
奈
there are
呀。
many people
后
in the
来痛
hospital at
风
that
久
time,
了就
and
有
I
经
felt
验
so
了。
helpless.
当脚趾和脚踝
Later,
刚刚开
I
始发
gained the
痒或者红肿，
experience
我
of
就知
gout
道
after
那
a
是
long
痛风
time
发作
when
了。
my toes
发
and
作的征
ankles
兆
start
来
to
了，
itch
我就
as
赶紧
well.
先到诊所买
I
药
know that
吃，
it's a sign
吃
of
药
the
以
gout
后
attack.
才能缓
I
和
will
痛
hurry
风的
to the
症状。
clinic to take the
痛
medicines.
风10年了，我吃了
After the
很多药，
medicines,
把
the
胃都
symptoms
吃
could
坏
be
了。平时没吃东西的时
elevated.
候，总感觉肚
I've
子
been
胀
suffering
胀
from
的，
this for
紧
10
绷
years,
绷的。
and I've
而
taken
吃
a
了
lot of
东西后呢，
medications,
肚子里
which
会有
affected
打
my
了结的
stomach.
感觉，非
I
常的难
often
受。
feel that my stomach
就
is
在这个时
bloated
候
and tight,
，2017年的10
and
月，
I'm
一个
feeling
很
very
好的机缘，
uncomfortable.
我开始
In
学习
October
八卦内功，
2017, because
结
of
果
a
做
very
八卦
good
才3
opportunity,
天，我发
I
现
started
自
to
己的
learn
精
Energy
神更好
Bagua.
了。
Just by
走
3
着
days
走
of
着，
practice,
我的痛
I
风
feel
复
that
发
my
频率
energy was
减
much
少了，
better.
从1个
As
月
I
发作
walk,
一次，
the
延长
frequency
到
of
2
my
个
gout
月，
recurrence
再延
also
长到3
decreased
到4个
from
月才
once
发
a
作一
month
次。
to once every
而
2
且每
months
次发
to
作的
once
程度
every 3 to
完
4
全不
months,
如之前那
and
么
the
严重，
severity of each
脚趾
attack
和
was
脚
not as
踝的红
severe
肿
as
程
before.
度越来越不
Now,
明显，
the
不太
redness
会
and
发
swelling
痒，
of the
我
toes
都
and
不用去
ankles
医
are
院打
less
止
and
痛
less
针。
obvious
再
and
到
less
后来
itchy,
半
and I don't
年
need
才
to go
痛
to the
风一次，
hospital for
而痛
painkiller.
风造成的红肿痒
Later,
已
I
经
had
很
gout
不明
once
显
every
了，
6
我不
months.
需要吃药来
At
预
that
防
time,
或者
the
止痛了。
redness, swelling, and
到
itchiness
了
caused by gout
2019
were
年
not
2
obvious
月，
at all.
是我走八卦1
And
年
in
又4个
February
月的时候，
2019,
我已
I
经完
practiced
全
Energy Bagua for 1 year and 4 months. I no longer took any medications for gout and uric acids. I also don't need to go to the hospital for pain-killing injections. The 10 years gout healed without medicines. Even the stomach bloating caused by the side effects of the medicines also disappeared. Until the end of February 2023, and for 4 years, my uric acid index has remained within the normal range. Energy Bagua is indeed amazing. I am very grateful for this wonderful method to regain my
我们今
health.
天都讲的是一招降三高哈，就
We
高血
talk
压、
about
高
a
血脂、
single
高
hack
血
to
糖。其
reduce
实
the
这个
three
痛风
highs.
很多人都说
And
这个是
actually,
第四高。
This is the
高尿
fourth
酸
high
对
because high uric
对
acid is
痛得
also
要命
another
啊
high.
哎呀
It
这
can
个
cause a lot of
这个
pain,
就是痛
and
到
this
痛
pain
心
is not
对
curable.
对，
它
什么
频繁
什么都
发作
干不了。
There's
什么都
something
做
very
不了
little that you
对，
can
对。
do.
嗯，
那这个师兄你看多好，他10年
If you
的
look at
痛
him,
风历史
so he
哈
has the
他
10
走了
years
八
of
卦
gout.
1年4个月
After
不到1
practicing
年半
Energy
呢
Bagua for
10
1
年
year
的
and
痛
4
风就拜
months,
拜了。
哎
他到
呦，
现
the
在已
10
经
years
整整
problem
4年
completely
从来没有再
disappears.
发作过了，完
And
全
he's
好了
free
嘛
from
哈
this.
对，这个效果太稳定了，太好了。
真
他也
好。
是自己说，他爸爸和哥哥都是
He
痛风
also
不是家
shared
里的
that
家
the
族
I
史
think the family
对
also this
而
is
且
could
他
be
自己也
something
是饮食
hereditary
习惯饮食
because
习
he
惯有
also
关
take
系
a lot of food,
通
eat
常在年
excessively.
轻哈，这么一路发展到中年、老年这个过程中哈，
Usually
有很多
when
人
one
是不在
develop
乎
from youth
还有
to
很多
middle
是
age
某种
to
职
old
业的需
age,
要哈
a。lot of
啊，
time they
经常
have
我
to
看
eat
到
a
网
lot
友来信，
excessively.
他
A
是
lot
做
of time
生
could
意
be
的，
due
就
to
是
their
老
work.
板哈。
哎呀，吃
Some
苦耐
work
劳，
require
吃得
them
消
to
所
eat
以
a
啊，
lot,
总陪
or
客
some
户，
have the
陪
habits
酒
of
吃
eating
好的，
supper.
哎，
所以
They need
好
to
的
eat
呢
good
都
food.
是那
But
种
the
什么
problem
高
is that
胆
when
固
you eat a lot of
醇、
good food,
高
a lot of
脂，
good food has
啊，
high
还
cholesterol,
有喝
high blood
酒、
pressure,
熬夜、
or they
吹
may take
牛，
a
这
lot
都
of
伤身体
alcohol,
啊。
or
哎，
they sleep
是
very
对，
late.
就把
These
自
are
己
all
呢，
very
也有
detrimental
的
to
人说
health.
弄了半天也挣了点钱，也有的挣不了钱，
Some,
但是把
after they
身体
do
都吃
this,
坏了。
they
对，
have
都
they
吃
make
出
some money.
挣的钱
But
的
there
那
are
个
some
钱又
who
去
didn't
买
make
药了。
money
这
and
是
their
看
health
看医
suffered
生，
as a
对
result.
对对对，真是麻烦哈，
对
不容易啊，人生是不容易的。
It's not easy.
对，
好，这位林先生还是挺幸运的
But I
哈。
think he is a
对，
very lucky
你看
guy
他这些都好了，
because he has all these
对，
problems, but all these
痛风没
problems
人
have
治得
been
了，
cured because
他就是八卦治得了。
the
其实我
gout
们
is
还有
something
很多
that
网
is
友也
difficult
是
to
有分
cure.
享
Only
他这
Energy
个痛
Bagua.
风因为八卦内功走好的，
对
也是蛮多的。
对
Actually, we have quite a lot of
其实
testimonial
是
of
八卦内
people
功这一
who
招
heal because of
痛风
Energy
也是非
Bagua.
常的有效，
对
也见效快。
那就不是一招降3高了，
对
一招降
So
4
now
高了。
not
现
only
在
we have
是
one
我
Energy
相信有
Bagua,
更多
not
的
only
痛
three
风网友
highs,
也
it helps
找
the
到
fourth
救星
high,
了。
which is the
对，
gout
如
as
果
well.
有这样的受益，也可以
So if
写
people
信
who
哈
have
给大
such
师或者是
benefits,
邮箱里
you
边
may
哈
want, you can
降
also
4
share
高
with
你
us.
都可以。
对
You
对
can
对，
share with us
好，
other benefits
那
that
我
you
送给
have.
这个台湾林
I
先生
have a
哈，
prize
这
for
个非
him.
常完美的
It's a
禅师玛
very
瑙天珠哈，
beautiful
哦，
exhibit as
真的
well.
很漂亮，
对，
真的很漂亮哈，很难得这么美哈。
It's very rare to
师
have
傅像这
something
个
so
这它也
beautiful.
是天然的，这个形状
Actually,
又好，
this is
直接
very
泡在
natural,
水杯
Master.
里，
这绝对没问题，
就是很好用哈。
而且一定有帮助。
It's definitely
对对
very,
对，
very
其实
useful.
这个师傅给我讲的，我都是小时候的印
When
象
Master。tell me, this
其
is
中
something
刚
that I
才讲
remember
的
from
有2个
young.
点没讲的哈。
There are 2 points
就
I
是这个
didn't
呢，
mention.
他当时不是我刚才讲到用那个玛瑙
First,
杯哈，
I talk
对
about the
泡水。
Agate
说其实
cup.
这个玛瑙还有一个作用啊，很厉害的
Actually,
作用。
there's another
它这
method.
个它本身
It
是以对
itself,
抗，尤其东南亚最厉害那个血病
it can
叫
get
什么
rid of,
下降头，
it can ward
对于
off
降
the
头和
evils,
诅咒本
evil
身产生一
energy.
个对峙作
It
用。
actually, it will bounce away the
对抗
negative
降
energy,
那就
the
身上
evil
要带着
energy.
玛瑙。
So we have to bring this with
尤
us.
其是玛瑙珠
Yes.
比较方便带啊。
And I think this is
对
more effective
这
to
个
bring
玛瑙
along.
上的纹奇特，
And
还特
this
别完
is
美，
very, very
就能使
special.
它这个能量变得更强。
So because of
对
this
对，
pattern,
就是这样
it
子
will
啊
make the
所以这
energy
个可以用来
stronger.
泡水都是可以
You
的。
can use this to drink
好
water. It
祝
is
福
effective.
这位是叫
林先生，
林先生哈，林
Wishing this
红月先
Lin
生哈，
Hongyue,
健康长寿，
wishing you
收
health
到，
如
and
意吉
longevities
祥
收到，
幸福
and
快乐。
auspiciousness.
收到。
嗯，
好，那接下来呢是来自温哥华的
Now
一
we
位老
have
师姐
someone
啊
from
瑞斯师姐她
Vancouver.
带来的分享。她今年86岁了，
She's 86 this year. She said, I have high blood pressure and high blood sugar, and for 20 over years. It's so high until 160. Sometimes as high as 180. When it's low, it is only 60. So the difference is about hundreds. The difference is hundreds. So usually they think that it's a sign of hardening of the blood vessels. So I've been taking medications for a long time. But after I take a lot of I've been taking medications for 20 years, but it couldn't control the blood pressure, but it also affected the low pressure. And talking about my blood sugar, so it's 8.2 and that's higher than normal. The doctor says I have to control my diet. I control my diet, but after some time, it only dropped slightly, but my weight lost. But because of that, everybody that sees me think that I'm very thin. That's because I lack enough nutrition. And I cut away all the desserts and sweet stuff. Not only that, I also have acid reflux. And I also have the pull of my lower calf. So these can cause pain, and I have to prescribe with medications to control the acid reflux, but it has a lot of side effects. And one of the side effects is that I will have osteoporosis. And I have this pull in my lower calves, and the pain is so unbearable. It's difficult for me to walk. I could feel that this pain was worse than when I delivered my child years ago. So because of the pain, I couldn't sleep at night. So in the daytime, I've lack of energy. I'm always very tired. Because of all this pain and suffering, I started to practice Energy Bagua. After 3 months, all the conditions improved. First, my heart pressure, my blood pressure reduced to 130, but the lower level didn't change a lot, so now both levels normalized. The Energy Bagua is more effective than taking medications. Then next, talk about my blood sugar. It's now back to 6.3, and I didn't change my diet. Because the doctor says that I'm quite old already, it is not easy. So to reach at 6.3 level, it is very good again. I've been practicing Energy Bagua for 5 years, and until today, my blood pressure, my blood sugar are now back to normal. And I'm not sure why, from when I stopped having this acid reflux, and my calf no longer have this pull in the middle of the night, and I'm able to sleep soundly. I'm less tired now. Once I went traveling with my daughter because I'm the oldest in the group, but every time I could walk before the team. I could even climb the hills. So a lot of my teammates were surprised, and this is because of my practice of Energy Bagua. Because of it, I gained my health and happiness. I will continue to practice Energy Bagua, just like what Master said, so that when I'm old, I do not need people to support me. I can continue to be independent. She is full of thanks to Master. Actually, we learned a lot of things about the high blood pressure. For her, she is special because the gaps is quite different. The higher level is very high, the lower level is very low. And after she takes the medications, the lower level becomes lower. So it is another form of abnormalities. So it's something that's very difficult to cure, and it's very difficult to prescribe medications. And the doctor says that the reason for that is because of the hardening of the blood vessels. So she's in her 80s. Still, it is because of Energy Bagua. She has so much pain and suffering. But after that, she went traveling. She even led the team and better than the youngsters. She was able to climb the hills, and that's because of Energy Bagua, the benefits that you read through Energy Bagua.
那个走了八卦，这真是能理解师傅说的这个哈，老了不用人伺候，对，完全自立自主生活。
大家现在理解了哈，老了叫人伺候啊，是一个极为痛苦的事情。
So we told you before that you want when you becomes old, you want to continue to be independent. That is a blessing.
就是说屁股上的骨头都露出来了，最可怜
那个褥疮啊，
对，非常的厉害啊，就不敢细想啊，再想就恐怖了啊。
走八卦就不用。
So it's important for you to continue your practice of Energy Bagua.
你不要等那个
Be diligent. Don't wait till the conditions start to appear that you start your practice. You want to prevention is better than cure. So you want Energy Bagua to prevent this.
好，给这个
Grace
老妈妈
So we have something for Grace as
送你
well.
大礼物。
哦，
首先呢，咱们今天
First,
讲到玛瑙嘛，
We have this Agate exhibits for you. It's a very beautiful Agate exhibits for you.
这个送给你哈，注意健康长寿。
Wishing you health,
哎
longevities.
寿比南山哈
收到。
还送你一盒
And I also
东方美
have
人茶
a
哎，
太好了。
也是
Oriental
降三高的宝
Beauty
物哈。
tea that helps to reduce
好，祝福你。
the tree
师
highs.
傅，那现在的网友也在纷纷抛出他们自己或者家人的这个降三高的一些奇遇哈。
A lot of
有
people
一位
start to
小象
share.
网友说，
One
80 岁
Xiao
的老
Xiao
爸
says that
2
80 years
次
old
脑血
dad
栓
had 2
第一
times
次放了2个支架，血压
had to
常
go
常在
through
200左右。
a
支架
stand.
手术后还需要终身服
And
药。
after that, he had to
药物
take
伤肝伤
medications
肾
after that.
爸爸的脚
But the
也是水
medications
肿的，
affected the
那个脚
liver
被按
and
下去
kidney.
啊，就像
And
您说
the
的那个
dad
记忆
also
模
have
拟一
bloated
样，
feet.
留下深深的大坑。从
And in
2020
2020, the father started to practice Energy Bagua. Now he didn't need to take any medications. And the medications, when he take medication, he couldn't control the blood pressure. But now, after practicing Energy Bagua, he doesn't need to take any medications. The mom has more sickness. In 20 years, have diabetes and also have high blood pressure. And now he didn't need to take any medications. So indeed, Xiaoxiang parents, both of them have the three highs. And after practicing Energy Bagua, they are all under
网
control.
友新的留言这是哈。
So that is the
祝你小
latest
象的爸爸妈妈
sharing.
哈
So we have
一人一
something
颗
for
天珠
Xiaoxiang.
哦，漂亮。
Each of
你
them
看
to have
这个
one
黑的天然
zibit.
的天然
This
的
is natural
天眼珠
zibits.
哈，这是送给爸爸的哈。
That's for dad.
这个呢带有人造图文的
And
呢这
this
个
is
天珠
some
呢送给
symbols
妈妈哈。
carved
祝两位老人
by
家呢健康
crafted
长寿，
symbols and wishing
寿
both
比南山，
health,
全家幸福。
longevities,
收到。
and family harmony.
师傅，接下来是来自于马来妙法的
Next,
施
we
秀美
have
师姐给我
someone
们带来
from
的见
Miaofa,
证。
another
师傅好，
sharing.
我是施秀美，
Hello,
今
Master.
年
I'm
63
Shu Mei. I'm
岁。
63.
我50岁就患
When
上
I
了
was
糖
50
尿
years old, I already
病，
have
而且是家
diabetes,
族
and
遗
that's
传性的。
hereditary
我的母
diabetes.
亲有糖
My
尿
mom
病，
has
即
diabetes,
使打胰岛
and
素，
although
她
she
还是
take
因为糖
insulin,
尿病而失明了。
but she lost
我
her
有
sight
7个
because
兄
of
弟
that.
姐
I
妹，
have 7
其中
siblings,
3个已经
and
患上了糖
3
尿
have
病。
diabetes.
2009
In
年，我被医生
2029,
诊断出
I
血糖过
also
高，
have been
空腹血
diagnosed with
糖
high
在
sugar.
12。
The
从那
normal
时
sugar
开始，
level is
我
12,
早晚各吃1粒降
and
血
I
糖
have to
药，
take
吃了
the
药，血糖
medications
能降到
morning
7
and
到
night.
8之间，
And when I take that, it
而
reduces
且
to
我
7
需
to
要忌
8.
口。我
But
那
I
么喜
have
欢
to
的水果
control
都要
my
放下，
control
汽
my
水不能
diet.
喝。
I cannot
我最
take
喜欢吃
fruits.
的蛋
I
糕也
cannot
不
take
敢吃了。
carbonated drinks.
从
I
那
can't
时候
take my
开始，我的
desserts that
脚
I
因为
love.
糖尿病的问题开始有水肿，
And
很紧
because
绷。
of that, I
得
started to
糖
have
尿病
bloated
3年后
feet.
，2012年我又被检查出高胆
In
固醇，
2012,
达到
I
了
have high blood
5.7，
pressure,
在饮
and
食
I
上
have
又需要注
5.7
意了。
level,
从
and
那
I have
时候
to
开始，
watch
我不
my
敢吃油
diet.
炸的，不
And
敢吃
during that
肥
time,
肉，
I can't
而
take
且我
fatty
每天
food.
吃半
I
粒
can't
药，
take
一直
fried
吃了
food.
7到8
And
年
I
的
have to
药。
take medications for
过了
7 or
3
8
年
years.
，2015年，
After
我一
3
直
years,
头晕，
in
去检查
2015,
血压，
I have
高压达到了
dizziness.
160到
I went for
170。
checkup,
原
and
来
my blood
我又
pressure,
患
the
上
high
了
level
家
is
族遗传的高血
170.
压。
And I
我的
realized
父
that
亲
I
和
have
母亲、
inherited
哥
the
哥
high
和姐
blood
姐
pressure.
都是高血压。
My dad, my
医生说你
brothers
这
and
不行
sisters
啊，
all
太
have
高
high
了，
blood
你需要
pressure.
吃药。
The doctor said
所以
you
从
need to
那
take
时候开始，
medications, and
我
from
每
then
天吃半
I
粒降
started
血
to
压
take
药，
half a
但
pills
即使
of
吃药，高压还是
medications
在
to reduce
150
the
到
blood
160。
pressure, but it still remained high,
从
about
2017年开始，我
160.
学习了八卦内
So
功。
in
走八卦1
2016,
年后，
I
我
started to
家族遗
practice
传的
Energy
3高问
Bagua.
题
After that, I start to see a reductions in the tree high. My blood sugar after practicing Energy Bagua reduced to about 6 point something, and I'm able to take fruits and some of the desserts. And not only that, these days I've been taking my food outside, and I'm still managed to control my blood sugar. And the bloatedness of my feet completely disappears. As for my high cholesterol, 5.7 it reduced to 5 after I practiced Energy Bagua. And recently, I went to check up again in 2022. It reduced to 4.4, and that's a normal blood cholesterol level, and I stopped taking blood cholesterol level medications. And as for the high blood pressure, it drops from 165 to 155, and now after practicing Energy Bagua, it's now 125. Not only that, I also have some pain in my palms, I have numbness, and it affects my job, because my job requires me to write. But because of this, I couldn't write properly. I couldn't even use the chopsticks to pick up food. Every time I need to put down my chopsticks, massage my hands before I can continue to take the chopsticks. So I'm not able to do housework. I have difficulties to even handle a scissors. Doctors have no way, so every time the doctor will give me some steroid, but the steroid is able to maintain for half a year, and then the pain will come back again. I have injections for four times. What I was very happy is that after I practiced Energy Bagua for half a year, the numbness disappears in my palms. I'm now able to move my fingers easily. When I practice, everything becomes much easier. I don't need to have injections. I have thanks to Masters for giving me such a good method. It's been 4 years I've been continuing the practice because I've seen my mom losing her sight, and I don't want that to happen to me. I will continue to practice Energy Bagua. I've started to introduce Energy Bagua to people around me so that they too can benefit from Energy Bagua. Thank you, Master. Another heredity, 3 high.
关于他的妈妈哈，因为得这个病呢，失明了。
For her mom, the mom lost her sight because of this. And the siblings, out of 7, 3 of them have suffered from the disease. I think high blood pressure, the brothers, the sisters, and the parents all suffered from high blood pressure. So indeed, this has a very strong genes. She also mentioned that her conditions affected her work and her daily routines. She may have some heart-related disease as well, and that's because of the tree high. When it's high, they do not know what happens. Where are the signs? So these are all very negative signs. The mom can lose her sight. She also shared that why she insists on practicing Energy Bagua, and that's because she saw the parents, and she didn't want that to happen to her, because the conditions can be quite terrible. She is very lucky because at least she has Energy Bagua. So after practicing Energy Bagua, a lot of conditions normalized. The doctor even reduced the medications. Because a lot of our family members are affected by the tree highs. So she can encourage the Energy Bagua to her family members, so that her brothers and sisters all have the chance to reduce the 3 highs. She said that she's able to go to the restaurants without having to control her diet, so that's such an enjoyment. You have to, but you have to still control your diets. Because you have you have the genes, so you want to control that. Yes, you must know that you have to manage yourself, because a lot of times maybe you want to eat the food because you are greedy, but then why do you want to take the risk, using your life to take the risk? Why? It's not worth it. I think we want to be a very disciplined person. Then you'll be more successful. Because when you have discipline, you'll be successful. If you don't have that, for your own health, if you have it in the family, if it runs in the family, you definitely want to be more careful. Because in the food that we eat, in noodles, in the rice, it has a lot of sugar. Some may say that I'll take fruits. The fruits will have sugar. Is it okay? I think you have to manage yourself. For this, Dharma sisters, no. Because you have such genes, if you take apple, you only want to take 1/6. If you just eat 1/6, it's good, enough. But if you eat like the people in the north, you finish the whole apple, it will affect you completely. The problem is you satisfy your mouth, but what about your legs? You may not be able to save your legs. So when you say that, it is quite scary. You may say that, why is it so scary? Indeed, you must try to control yourself. Try to encourage, try to reduce sugar in your diet.
对，你还不如吃一个苹果呢，更多了那个糖分。对，
那但有一天我们专门会讲一下这个饮食的一些。
One day we will want to have a conversations about the diet. But I just want to highlight to you, I don't encourage to drink juice, because when you drink juice, it's excessive sugar. It's not good for you. Say, for example, when you take the fruit, you can take 1 full apple. That's considered a lot already. But no matter what fruits, when you juice it, what do you think? How much sugar it has in that? And in that 1 minute, how much sugar intake you have?
对，6个橙子。对，
就这些里头。最起码有一个东西叫做高糖。
Definitely, you have high sugar.
高含，几乎所有的水果它是寒性的。
Sugar are cool in nature.
就变成叫过敏体质。
Then your body becomes very sensitive. It's not good for you. For lady, you may have difficulty to conceive. You have coolness in the uterus, and you may have back pain.
那么还有呢？ 年龄不大就腰酸背痛
And you may be very young and you may be suffering from backaches.
吃水果你用牙咔哧咔哧咬
So my suggestion is that the apple,
照顾病人才那么
you try to
所以
bite
通常就是最好
into
是
it.
最多皮好洗一下之后
The best is you just
咬的时候
clean
你
it,
牙齿你的口腔
and every
接
time
触水
when you
果的
bite
时
it,
候这一点是对你的这个大脑与整个身体健康是特别的有
it
帮助
helps with your
就
overall
看到
health.
用嘴咬
So
水
that's
果
why I encourage you to bite
而不要喝果
with
汁
your teeth and do not drink fruit
我们
juice.
送给这个施秀梅女士呢
And we
一
have
颗
a special beads,
丝的玛瑙
another
天珠
Z
哈
beads,
是个
agate
特
Z
别漂
beads
亮的天珠哈
for
这是
her.
天然的哈
This
天
is
然的这个
natural.
不是人工做出来的
对，
还有呢送给她一个电
的牌的，
对
And we have a rice cooker for
哎
her.
呦，
哎对
好哎，
对这个是特别
健康饮食啊，秀梅师姐。
对又好又便宜哈
This is good
好
and
祝你
useful.
呢健康长寿
Wishing you health,
如意吉祥
longevities,
幸福快乐
and health and happiness.
师傅，您在那个直播开始的时候说还有一个小妙方。
Master, you shared that you have a special method.
那不是八卦内功，是
What
什
is
么呢？
it?
那我就开始透露了哈。
I just want to
我
share.
们就说到做到。哎，就是叫做梅子醋。
It is a Plum
梅子醋。
vinegar.
我们
是哪一种梅子呢？
What is it?
梅呢，它是这样的哈，梅长出来一般都是青色的，青色
Usually they are green in color.
青梅。但是呢，我们这个梅呢是经过一种制造中药的
It
方
is
法，
the way
它是
of
把它
treating
去
it,
烘烤出来的。
and it
烘
is
烤的
a
这个
way
过程
of
我不
treating
用
it
教了
like the
哈，因为到
traditional
中药店就能
Chinese
买到。
medicines way
这
of
烘
doing
烤
it.
过的这个梅变成梅干了。
So it become dried fruit.
这个梅子干，它的颜色就是差不多黑色，
So it become dark in
差不
color.
多的黑色。那么这种黑色的
So
我
it
们把
become
它叫
dark
做
in
乌
color.
梅。
哦，乌
It's
梅
dark
对
in
它
color.
说过
对，它长出来不是这个黑色的
But
哈，是经过加工
The
之后
fresh one
它
is
不
not
是
in
天
this
生
color.
黑，
对，
It's
这
not
是加
naturally
工出来
black.
的。
It is because of
乌梅
the
对
steps
这样使
involved.
它的一个更稳定，而且药效就更好。
So it becomes more effective. It has
那这个
medicinal
乌梅呢
values.
像我们拿上就是6、7颗，
So we
就
take
是
about
把
6  or
它放
7 of
进
them.
这个陈醋的
We
醋
put
瓶子里
in
头，
the aged
就泡。
vinegar
陈醋、米
and we
醋
soak
也
in
行吧
米
aged
醋也可以，就是
vinegar.
粮食醋，
粮食酿造的醋。
粮食酿造的醋，
哦，
对，把它泡上去哈，泡进去，那泡
Or
最好
rice
是7
vinegar.
天以后
You
再来
soak in
喝
it for 7 days
那么喝呢
and
不能
drink
直接
it
喝醋，
after 7 days.
就一次呢我们
Every time when you
就
drink
是
it,
尤其是吃西餐用的那个钢勺，就
you want to
不用太
use
不是太大嘛
a
哈
teaspoon,
哎
a very
那一小勺
teaspoon,
啊，
大概10毫升吧。
大概10
maybe
毫升
10 mils.
哦
这样一平勺的这个醋，要兑4倍以上的水，
You must
4倍、5
add
倍、6倍。
water
对，4倍到8倍之间，
都行。
那
for
这个口
for
感呢自己感觉。
你看您的就是能不能耐醋，就是忍受
400
那个酸
to
度的问题了。
这
800%
个别
of
把自己当
the
做做手
water.
术啊，这个过程是快乐的过程哈。
It should be
别把自己
enjoyment
酸得倒了
process
牙闭着眼的那样的，没必要
because it's
哈
quite
别太
acidic.
惩
You
罚
don't
自己
want to just drink
啊
it down,
我们
gobble
通过
down.
在这个
You
健
just
康
add
饮食之中哈，
about
使着来
4
控制
parts
自己的
to 8
养
parts
生
of
健
water.
康的问题。
You want to learn to manage your own health. This is very, very effective to reduce the tree high.
口水。
哎，
Master, when you say this, I could feel that I want to drink it already.
是觉得醋也是酸的哈。
对
乌
But
梅
I
也是
feel
酸
that
的
because the
那咱们
vinegar
呢
is
也这几天你看，咱们在尝试我们腌，就是来用醋腌制过的这个梅哈，这个醋，其实口感越来越好。
the
对不对
vinegar will
对
becomes
因为我
more
们从
tasty
这个泡的这个醋3天开始喝，
对，
还有一种醋的那个比
酸味儿。
较酸
because
冲
if
的
you
那个
soak
味
it
道
for 3 days,
哎
you
酸
can
冲的
still
味道
taste
我们用的
the
是米
vinegar.
醋哈，
对，放了4、5天之后呢，
After 4
你
5
已经
days,
看不到
you can't
原来
even
醋的颜色
see
了，
the colors
它
of
就
the
变成黑
vinegar.
色的液体了。
It becomes
浓
black
了
in
现在。
因
color.
为我这里面放的梅子有点多了，
But I
还
have
有
too
点多了
many
哈
the
对
dried
所以它
fruits
就变
in
得
it.
很黑很
The
黑
black
哈
plumed
对
vinegar.
其实大家记住哈，诀窍就是一
Remember?
个是粮食酿造的
The
醋，
key is that
如果是陈醋更好。
if you
但还
can
有说
get
粮食
aged
酿造的醋
vinegar, it's
难道有
much
粮食
better.
不是粮食酿造的吗
那？有醋酸来勾兑也是有可能的。
对，它
这比较
不是
低级
粮食
差的吧
酿造，但是呢，政府呢，政府卫生部门也是允许销售的，对人体也没什么毒副作用。这样的勾兑醋，我们把它勾兑醋哈，对，那
So it's a
我
drink,
并
it's
不倡导
drinkable
我
vinegar.
要的是粮食醋，
Basically, I
无论是
want
豆米啊
to be
还是
rice vinegar,
糯米酿的，
对，
rice,
反正就是
glutinous
粮
rice
食类酿造
vinegar.
的这个醋，
So those are the
陈醋
vinegar
会
that I
更好
propose.
对，
Or
那通
aged
常呢
rice,
如果是
glutinous
我们
rice
普通
vinegar.
的
瓶子
那个瓶子哈，里头是
Usually
500
for the
毫升
bottle, the bottle
500
is
毫升
about
的话呢
500
大概就是
ml.
放我觉得6、7颗就够了。
I think you probably
这
need
个
6
6、7
or
颗
7
塞
dried
进去，有的
fruits
口
to
不
put
大
in
它就
there.
往里一捅就进去啊。
And if the mouth is
那
not
如
too
果再
big, you
大
can
点的
just
瓶
push
子呢，再
in.
加上个3、5颗，
If it's a
可以
bigger
啊，
bottle,
也
you
不用
may
太
just
多。
want to add about
大
3
约呢
more.
就是要
dried
这个放进去
fruits
之后哈，
When you
这
add
个
it
瓶
in,
子口儿哈一定要封好，
the mouth of it you
还要
want to
呢放到冰
seal
箱
up
里头。
properly,
哦，要冷
and
藏
you want to put inside the
因
fridge.
为每个地区的冷热度不一样，
Because different locations
太冷
have a
了把瓶子
different
冻坏
room
冻裂
temperature.
啊，
If it's too hot, it may become fragmented. Then you have excessive sugar. So you want to put inside the fridge. Ideally, you can start consuming after 6-7 days. And you just pour a little bit, add about you add mineral water. You manage the temperature yourself. If you're in Southeast Asia, you can use mineral water to add on to it. It's about 4 parts. We have tried 4 parts more or 6 parts more. But 6 parts more, it's more comfortable because it's more diluted. It definitely tastes better than drinking milk or even carbonated drinks. For people who are older and you are a little bit on the fat side, you want to drink a little to manage the tree high. What happens when we soak the dried fruits? How is it different from the original vinegar? I think we should try to introduce to our internet friends. So I'm going to talk about the fruit itself, and you can talk about the vinegar. What's the benefits of vinegar to us? The vinegar itself is acidic in nature, and it helps in digestion. It reduces the sugar, reduces the fats. It reduces the fats. It also has this antibacterial. It also cleanses the liver, cleanses the eyes. Anything that can clear the fats, it will be able to help to cleanse the liver and the eyes. For Chinese, not just Chinese drink vinegar, even Europeans or Westerners also consume vinegars. It can prevent the hardening of the blood vessels as well. So for Chinese, after we add vinegar to our diets, it's definitely beneficial to our health. So if we manage it in moderation, it will help with our body. Especially during springtime, there is this thing called spring vinegar. It is very good. It can kill germs. I'm talking about plums, the process. Few thousand years ago, they have already done research on it. The ancient Chinese physicians. Zhang Zhongxing, one of the renowned Chinese physicians, they find that they have a lot of benefits. First, it can stop coughing. It can quench the thirst. If you have uncomfortable throats, it also can prevent diarrhea. You may think, why is it able to do that? Yes, it's able to prevent diarrhea. It is also it's actually helped in blood clot and helped with the healings because it has the ability to stop bleeding. It also helps with if there's bleeding in the stomach. It will help with it. If you have bowels or internal operations, it helps with that. For people, they use it. There's a method that they use. They bite into pieces, and they actually use this on the rotten skin. And after that, the skin will grow back. It has these abilities.
好玩吧哈？
Isn't it very interesting?
哎，所以呢，还有呢，它对于止血哈，
It helps to
无论是外
prevent
出
blood
血、
clot.
内出血都是特别的起
Whether
作
externally or
用。
internal
对
bleeding, it helps to stop
其实
bleeding.
包括有些女士哈，就是月经过多
For
呀，
some
其实
ladies,
适当的服用它
when
也
they
是
have
对
menses,
对，
it will
它有
also be
收
very
就是
helpful
止血
too.
的作用，是还有鼻子出血，
Or sometimes when they have
干燥，
nosebleed,
或者上火
哎，
呀，
对对对，鼻子出血，它都会有这个止血的作
it will
用，
also help with that.
也管用。
是收敛嘛。
对，
痔疮是在肠壁上鼓起个包来嘛，
是
它收敛的作用的话呢，它慢慢就收了，收小了，啊，如果它再加上消炎的话呢，
对，消炎又止血，
对，又一个是又收敛变小，再止血消炎，啊，它
就好了
说不定就好了。
So you will help to heal them.
所以在
是止
古代
血，的，
传统的这个痔疮药，它是外用药哈，当中就有乌梅哈，
是哈，
对
贴在痔疮上啊。
啊，这个咱们不细研究了吧，因为咱们说的不是痔疮鸡汤。
So how do
这个
they
有兴
solve?
趣
How
哈
do
有
they
兴
do
趣
it?
私下交流
Well, we were not talking to that level of
对
details.
很好玩，有很多药它是
But
共用的。
There are a lot of
因为它有这样
medications
的一种
you
作用
have,
啊
you can
还
use
有
them
这个
on
止
different
痛的作用
things.
对，所以它对于各种关节疼痛啊、肚子痛啊，
So you
都
have
是
some
很起
pain,
作
the
用的
joint
啊
pains,
所以这个
or
五
you have
指呢
some
大家记住了
bleeding.
哈
It will help
止咳、
internal
止咳
bleeding as
止
well.
泻
So you
止
just
血
remember
止
it
痛
helps
哦，
the cough, cease
还
the
有呢
cough,
最重要的
quench
是
the
收敛
thirst, prevent diarrhea,
还没
prevent blood
完
clot.
嗯，
So these
还
are
有呢， 它
and also
乌梅一旦
pain
用多
killer
了
as
说既
well.
然这么好，我多吃几颗，
Some may say that,
啊
wow, if
多
this
吃
is
几
so
颗之后
good,
呢，
let
它
us
会产生
consume
叫
more.
肠涩，
No,
这个肠子
not
哈
advisable.
比如说拉肚子，那我
For
喝一
example,
点
if
这
you
样
have
这个梅子
diarrhea,
或者含那个梅子
you
吃了
have
是
a
吧
little bit
它
of
就
it,
止住了。
泻嘛，
it
对，
stopped
好了
in the
可是怕
diarrhea.
明天还继续拉，
But
所以
you're
呢
afraid
今天
that
多
tomorrow
吃几
you
颗乌
have a
梅，
diarrhea, so you take
结
more
果明
in
天后天拉
advance.
不出来了，
So 2 days later,
它出现便秘，
you have constipations.
肠
太涩了，
就涩了。
对
Why?
太干了
Because your
它使得
intestine can't
其
take
实
it.
干了，它为什么
dried
对
up.
痔疮也有好处呢？它收敛到
Why is
干
it that it's
那
good
块
for
儿的那
pulse?
个液体
Because
都
it
会消
helps
失了开始
to
啊
dry it.
这还不可以多用。
So you can't take
好
too
玩
much
了
of
哈
it.
所以这我是说这个梅子特有的这个功效，
That's why I'm saying that the
而且
nature
还
of
能
it,
软化这个硬质
it
和
also
骨头
soften
啊，
the
筋骨
hardened
太
stuff.
发挺、发硬、发干啊，它能给它柔化了。
It can soften part of it as well, some of the body parts.
老骨头老腿的，吃点乌梅。
And that's why if you have like pain on
对，
the
它
body
讲入筋
because
骨
of
则软。
stiffness of the
哎，
bones,
对，遇到了
it
筋
can
骨
help
之
to
后它就变
soften
软
it.
了啊。还有呢，对肺，对肺，
In
比如
terms
说我
of
们咳
lungs,
嗽，其
when
实
we cough,
如果做一下透视就知道肺变大了，因为发炎嘛。
you find that when you
哎，
have
对，它让这个肺要
inflammations,
收
the
敛到
lungs
原来的
becomes
大小
bigger,
你的
it
咳
will
嗽
be
才停止
able to
对不对
help
所以呢，它还能对
the
肺本
lungs
身也是
to
也是
shrink
一个
back to
收
normal
收
size,
敛的作用。
so you will
收
stop the
记
cough.
住收敛，收敛，说你行为收敛一点，收敛把它缩小一点。
So basically,
是
it's
这个意
just
思哈
reduce it
它
slightly.
对很多的部分，尤其是炎症性类的部分哈，这个器官都产生收和敛的
It
作用。
helps with
记住这是它
inflammations.
特有的功效
Just
哈
remember that is a special part of it.
师傅，那我还看到有一些母亲啊，妈妈她会给小孩子也吃这个乌梅，
Mom, I see,
苦苦的那个。
must have seen that some mom actually let the
我知
kids
道，
eat some
我
of
不知
this.
道有谁
我
给
知道是去蛔虫吧？
哦
Why?
用它来打蛔虫啊。
对
Because
它这
they
里面有
use
一
this
个
to
乌
get
梅有个
rid
奇特
of
的
the
功效
worms
哈
in the
它
stomach
对于这
worms.
个肠之中的那个就叫蛔虫，
Yes,
也叫大肠杆菌
you
哈
it
是
actually
有特
helps.
别的功效。
It's very,
Oh.
very effective on the
对
intestinal
是肚子里的
worms
虫遇上它就会被杀死和排除。
because they'll be killed
对，
and the worms will be killed
杀
and
虫杀菌这一点它和
吃过乌梅啊？
get out of the
这一
body.
点和大蒜很像。
It's quite similar to garlic.
对对对，都是打肚子里的那个寄生虫嘛。
It clears the worms in the
其
body.
实我们肠道里头哈，如果不正常的排泄的话，还有不用一些有效的药物的话，里头有虫子你都不知道。
Because a lot of time, if we don't
其实
use
它
some
是有蛔
method
虫的
in this in our intestines, there could be some worms that we're not aware of.
紫菜包什么？哦，就是那个
烤肉
生菜包什么东西？包饭团吃，
A lot of people eat fresh cabbage and eat with the rice. But what happens is that when they take fresh cabbage, then they may have the worms inside. When I was in Korea, some Dharma brothers and sisters, they say that because they eat very fresh vegetables and they have this risk about taking the worms in the intestines. So I think it's important for them to take garlic, fresh garlics, and plum as well, because they will be able to control the worms. So just what we mentioned are the basic functions of it. Do you want to hear more? Pay attention. This is something that what the doctors may not have said. What's most important is that it helps with tumor. It can control the tumor, the growth of tumor. It's something to do with the pulse. It helps to reduce the growth. So it will help to reduce the size until it completely disappears. If you use wisely, use good, or even cancerous tumor, it may have preventive methods. Can you imagine that it can even help to heal a rotten piece of skin? What about a tumor? What's the relationship with tumor? Will you be able to heal that? To reduce the cancerous tumor? Some people in their intestines, large intestines and small intestines, they may have some growth. And the growth can be little tumor or little growth. And if they can take some of this, if you drink it to a certain level, it will show its effect. But you must know that because you want to do that, you want to get rid of that, you drink excessively. You want to be very careful because you got to drink in moderation, drink safely. Some ask if the person have gastric problems. Is it suitable for these people? First, I just want to stress, I am not a doctor. But my master, my mom, or my special friends, they shared with me some methods, some special alternate methods. I think that you have the needs, and I share these with you. We just share that some of these benefits are effective, and people have tested before, and that's why I dare to share this with you. But not only, we're not talking about medicines, but some people will have some reactions to even carrots, or some people may have some reactions to beans. So it's quite different. It's different individually, so you must know your own body. If you're currently seeking doctor's treatments because of some existing conditions, you may first want to seek your doctor's opinion to see whether it is suitable for you for your inherent conditions. I just want to share with you some of these methods, but if you have existing problems, you may want to seek your medical professional advice first. Now we have some asking if our centers have some of this vinegars. I have blessed some of these. I will share to all our centers around the globe. If your place has some meditation centers, you may want to be in touch with them. Whether you need to get it for free or you need to pay a small sum of amount. But basically, I'm giving this for free to all the centers. But you want to be in touch with your local centers to see what's the best way for you to get it. If the centers agree for you to go and pick it up, then that's your own communications. But for me, my intentions is that all of you will be able to reduce your tree high, and everyone will have good health. That's my intentions. Where someone from New York Center shared that they don't know where to buy this, so they are really looking forward for this. Actually, if you go to the Chinese physician's hall, you'll be able to buy this. But I think it's important that all our centers just keep some of this. So when we special bless it, but definitely I will send some to all our centers. So in Malaysia, where we are, all the centers, every centers will have this. So you may want to go to be in touch with your local centers to see what's the best way for you to get it. You may want to communicate directly with the centers closest to you.
我的直播讲课所在地哈，我们也给大家一个机会。
师父特意为我们整个马来西亚的非穆斯林的朋友们
Masters has specially given all the non-Muslim. We have some vinegar that's specially made by Masters. We have already soaked it in the glutinous rice vinegar, and the taste is really good. We have been drinking this. It tastes really good. So Master says that in our KL, we're going to have a free gifts event, and this is only for Malaysia non-Muslim practitioners. But you need to register online, and those who register first will have the chance to get it. This is only for Malaysia internet friends. So for the rest, you may want to check with your own centers if they have such arrangements. When you register that, you will find that next Saturday, March the 3rd and March the 4th, there's a special event. From afternoon onwards, 2 to 4 p.m., 4 to 6, 6 to 8, we want to make sure that we take care of people who are working class so that they will have a chance to come to our center to pick up the items. And on Saturday, the whole day from 11 to 1, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, this time, the 3 windows of opportunities. And when you go there, you want to pick the time that you'll be able to be there. So that's why we want to control the flow. And that's why we limit a certain number to attend at a specific time slot. So you want to pick a time slot and show up at the time slot. Once you confirm the time slot, and once it's complete, you will not be able to pick that time slot. You will have to pick a different time slot. And if it's really not possible during this time slot, you may want to leave your email address, or if there are some other opportunities, or if some choose to give up the time slot and free up the time slot, then you'll be able to go there. So for these 2 days, we want to encourage and we want to welcome 300 of our friends from Malaysia to pick up the items. Thank you, Masters, for this.
好，这个呢 这个非常好的一个小偏方。
This is a very special method.
所以呢，极特殊身体的人或者
So
正在
people who are going through some
吃药
medications
啊
or
怀
taking
孕
some
啊
medicines,
或
or
者身
if
体比
they
较
are
敏感
pregnant
特
or
异
they are
的这个
sensitive,
身体的人呢，最好咨询一下医
maybe
生
you want
再
to
来采
seek
用
your
啊
doctor's
通
advice
常来
first
说其实没有啥，
before you
就是
tried it.
醋中加了个乌梅而已。
Usually it's
对
nothing special,
乌梅的
it's
作用大
just
家都理解
it's just
了
adding this to the
乌梅
glutinous
加
rice
醋
vinegar,
它两个都很好，
the
但
dried
是呢
fruits
加
to
在一
that.
起就1+1大
So when you
于 2，
combine
效果
both,
就
it
更
is
好
quite
了。
effective.
黄金搭档在一起，真的是所向无敌呀！
对，它长相不起眼，但是效果
Although
还
it's
是不
not
错。
attractive, but
哎
it's very
我看
effective.
一个日本网友就说：“哎呦，那我们没有
Someone
常
from
常的地方
Japan
失望
says
了，
that
也不
we
用
must
失
be
望，
very
因为别
sad
人告
because
诉
we
我
don't
们
have
怎
a
么做
centers
了啊
in
对呀。
Japan.
在家里做
Well,
就
but
好
it's
了。
okay. You can also try
对，很
to
重要的。
do it yourself,
甚至在
as
国外
long
呢，
as
中
you
药
can
生
go
人
to a
店当
Chinese
中一般就有
physician
卖这
hall
个
to
乌梅的。
buy
对
to
乌
buy
梅
this,
哈，干的。
and you
对，
buy the
完了你
dried
买一些
fruits,
良
and
心
then
酿造的醋，
陈醋，
陈醋是最好。
you get
哎
glutinous
完了
rice
之后呢，再把这个
vinegar.
梅子呢再塞
You
进
just
去。
add it
像
in.
一般普通瓶装哈，就是
A
6、7颗就
normal
够了。
A normal bottle, you just
对，
need 6
但
to
通
7
常
dried
是1个礼
fruits.
拜之后再用，
But
效果
usually
会
you
更
must
好。
make sure that you
乌梅跟
consume
醋
it
买回
after a
来，
week.
等到
Let
下一
it
次
soak
直
for a
播的
week.
时候，都跟着你一块儿听师傅的直播，其实就得到了加持，也是师傅加持的乌梅醋，
对
哎，就做好了，是一样的效果啊。
对，
对，
所以你自己做哈，这个也不用保留，这个方法特别简单。
This is a very simple
哎
method.
对对，
哎，师傅，那这样的喝的话，什么样一个频率？比方说一天喝一次。
How frequently should we
这样
drink
子
it? Is it
还
once
是
a
每
day
天这
or
样
what?
坚持喝会更好效果？
就用不用天天喝呀
我？觉得是持续性的。
I think you
还
should
分你
drink
的那个三高的程度。
continuously.
哎，
如果你有
Depends
最
on
近
your
这
tree
一两年你
high.
有检测过身体，
If you have
心里
gone
明白你的
for
三
a
高是
blood,
多少，对不对？
you've gone for a
再来
medical
喝。
checkup,
所以这个度
and
来
you
说的话
already
呢，
have the
我觉
tree
得
high,
最好的效果就是早上
I think most effectively is to
早
drink
上的
in the
时候
morning.
来开始喝。
哦，
对，那也有人他这个不同的门派哈，也有人说睡觉前喝。
Some may say that it's
哎
better to
但
drink
是
before
我
you
觉得呢
sleep.
你的体质情况如果
But I
说
think
比较高，这个三高比较高，
if you have quite high tree
对你的
highs
早晚各一
各
次
喝，一次。
and the
各
condition
各
is
喝
quite
这个
serious,
勾兑过的
you may
12升
want
的
to
醋
drink in the morning
就会
and
效
in
果
the
比较好。
evening. That would be more
哎
effective.
那是预防的，
对，这是预
But
防的哈。
for
但其实你
preventions,
的你自己也感觉到你的身体的变化。
if you
那
feel
你
that
觉
the
得
body
有
has
疑惑觉得
changed,
哎，是不是我身体是不是不适应啊？那你就停下来。
if you
就
feel
不
that you
喝
may
了
not be
好吧
suitable,
这个
then
自
you
己
may
要
want
把
to
握
stop it.
酌情，
这样咱们吃馒头也不能吃太多，对不对？
就是。
So you want to eat in moderations.
对。
It
所以
is
这
when we
个
eat
但是
buns,
这
you
个
also
效果
can't
呢
eat
持续
so
性
many
用比
buns
较
at
好
one time. You
我
must
觉得
eat
最
in
安全了哈
moderations.
这一个礼拜你用3次、
To be
4
safe,
次，
you just want to consume 3 to 4 times in a week.
你试试
Don't
看，
really
不一
drink
定
it
的。
every
看
day
每个人体质不同。
because everybody
哎
has a
但是我
different
特别不建
bodies.
议睡前喝。
But I don't suggest
你
that you
睡觉
drink
了
before you
你做完
sleep
考了，完了之后喝了之后，
because
那
after
那
you
个
brush your
那
teeth,
个醋
you drink a
对
little
你还有
bit,
没有一些
the
妨碍？是
vinegar
吧？
may
哎
stay
还
in
你
your
糖尿不
mouth.
动了，
And
所以
would
呢
that have
喝的
some
这个虽
impact
然
on
稀释
you?
过的醋会不会对胃肠道
Would that
会不会产生一
be
些作用？
some
那
implications
么
to
还
your
有这个
stomach?
胃食道逆流、胃酸的人
And
能不
what
能
about
喝？
people who
一
have
个是你
acid
咨询一下医
reflux?
生，但是以
For people
我
who
的
have
经
acid
验来说的
reflux,
话
you
是
may want to
可以
seek
的，
doctor's
是可以
advice.
的。
But
因为物极
personally,
必反哈
I know
两
that it
酸在一
is
起之后，它
effective.
本身就不酸了。何况酶这个东西，它的口感是酸的，但所有的功效与酸没有丝毫关系，
是这样。
它反而偏碱性的。
Actually, after you soak this,
所
it
以
may
它
becomes
所以
alkaline
以
in
此来
nature.
分析的话，一般的胃酸喝它说不定能好了。
So for people who have
是这样的。
好的，
对，
感恩师傅。
好。
some conditions in the stomach
对
like
那之
acid,
前
acidic,
呢，我们也讲过和制
then
作过
maybe
一
this
些
may be
哈
helpful.
这2、3年以来哈，
对，
推出了很多这样的
很
妙方。
多的小妙方呢。
Actually, these 2-3 years,
对于
we have
三
many
高
methods,
和
alternate
肝
methods.
脏相关
We
的
have
哈，这个
something
小妙
for
方呢有
liver,
好几个
for
对
tree
回忆
highs.
一
We
下
have a few
对
methods.
哎
Can you
三
recall?
清桑菊饮，
三清桑菊饮。
对，主要是干桑
We
叶
have
嘛
low
哈桑
blood
叶
sugar,
贡菊
cholesterol
山楂
type
等
of
等这些
drinks,
的哈
the
对，这
tea.
个真的是平时这个非常好做嘛。
This is very
对
easy
这
to
个
make,
也很好
and it is
降
very
三高三
effective
清
to
嘛哈
reduce the tree
还有
highs.
那个降血脂娃娃菜，这是一个新的。
And we also have one of the
我们刚推
latest,
出来的哈
nourish the stomach.
这个就是很好
The
做
vegetables, it is very easy to make. It's just garlic
娃娃
with
菜或者
the
就是白菜
cabbage
心儿
or
对对对
放
vegetables.
了很多的蒜蓉，
You just need to add a lot of
蒸一下。
garlics and you just
对
steam it.
蒸的火别太大，这个
降血脂的。
特别好。
It is
这
very
本身也
good
能清肠
to
道之中的寄
reduce
生虫哈。
是，
好，
嗯
然后是减肥柠檬茶，哎呀，
对
这个我们女生最
the
喜欢
lipid.
了。
对，
And
对
also there is also
就
lemon
是
tea
用柠檬
to
加上
reduce
姜
fat.
对
Simple way to
还有
lose
养
weight.
颜呐是
对
The lemon tea.
还有那个
Very
健康卫士
effective.
奶昔，这是大家很喜欢
And
的
this is something that
啊对
everybody really love.
这个现在我们
How
都家
tea
里都有搅拌机嘛，其实就很容易做。
Lassi, this is very useful
这里面
and
有
it's very
姜黄
easy to
是
make
好
if you
东
have a
西
blender at home.
柠檬、大蒜然后酸奶的那些味道啊，苹果的味道都是很好的。
这个就是针对三高以及
This is for
这个
tree highs
肝的这个脂肪肝
and for
癌的
fatty
这个
liver.
效果特别好，
Very
有针对
effective.
性。
对，还有一款就是唾手可得的，你都不用制作，打开就能用的，就是我们菩提普洱茶。
Another one
对
is
上一期
Bodhi H
有一
Pura
位
tea.
有位学员就是喝这个菩提普洱茶，
对他坚持喝
他，当水喝，天
喝了1年，加走八卦对吧？完
We
了
have
之后呢
someone who
他
drink this
就
for a
当水
year
来喝，
and
你
practice
看
energy
他那
bagua.
个三高就降下去了。
And his tree high reduced a
对
lot.
对对，
直接帮他降
所以。他喝到一定的量和时
When you
间，
drink
就
with
解
times
但
and
是
with
也
the
是坚持
quantity,
走八卦。
对，
it will be useful. Eventually, it will take
没错
effect.
了。
对，
所以现在我们讲的这种小配方哈，
So on this
小偏方
method that we
其实
share,
是八卦内功辅助的方法。
actually these are
那么它最
supplementary
有效的方
methods.
法是八卦内功。
But the
啊
most
八卦内功
effective
你得去
methods
练
is still
像
the
这个
practice
呢
of
可以
energy
喝可以吃
bagua.
哈，这是
All
辅助的
this you
方
can
法。
drink, you can
健康饮食。
consume.
光靠
This
辅助的
belongs
方法
to
是
a
远远
healthy
不够的。
lifestyle,
对
healthy
还
eating
是那个一招
eatings.
降三高的
But
一招
definitely,
对
what's most
所
important
以我
is
们
that
这
you
个
still
基本
have
的
to
体质
practice
体能
energy
这个
bagua.
改变是最重要的。
Because you need to
如果你体
change
质
the
不好，光
fundamental
用这
body
些方法也
elements.
好不了。
When you have
是
that
这样的
and you
啊
have all the
对，一
supplement
定要
methods,
加以这个
it will
走
be
八
more
卦
effective.
好好练
So
才对。
remember, you have to
内功
practice
打功
energy
名师问
bagua.
法样样好，好好练。感恩师父
Practice diligently.
好，今天给大家介绍了这么多的网友的受益哈，
So we have
对，
shared
听
so
了就
many
让人
benefits.
心潮澎湃哈
很。欣慰。
哎，
And
非常开心
对，
呐。
we
很
are
开
so
心
happy
呐。
to hear that
所以
so
我们的
many
八卦内
have
功又
benefits
救
us
了这
from
么
it.
多的人。
Especially to
还有
know
很
that
多
Energy Bagua
受
has
益的
saved so
很
many
多优
people,
秀的这
so
个
many
见
people
证
have
哈，都
benefited
在
from
后面
Energy Bagua.
它
These
都
are
有不
really
同
good
的健康
stories.
与病症的哈。
Because now we
那
know
欢
that
迎网友
Energy
呢，
Bagua
你无论
has
修这个我
successfully
们
benefited
菩提
people
机
with
构的
different
任何一个
methods.
法，你的身体有非常直白清晰的受益，请把你的故事呢分享
If
给
you
我
have
们哈。
benefited from
当我们
Bodhi
一旦录
methods,
用的话呢，
do
你会
share with
功德
us.
无量哈。
And
就等于
if
救
we
了别
find
人的
that
命。
it's useful
那
and
我
we
们
can
去
share
来
with
来
others,
练功走
you'll
八
be
卦，
able to
这个身体
accumulate
好
a
了
lot
的
of
人哈，
merits.
你应该去
And for people who
度
have
化你的
benefited
去
from
分享
Energy
度化你
Bagua,
的
you
同
should
事啊、
try
邻
to
居啊、
spread to
亲
more
戚啊
people,
哈，
to your
跟你一起来
family,
学着
to your
练，
friends,
这
to your
救人的
neighbor,
命啊，
so that
这
more
是
people
多大
can
的功德
benefit
呀，
from this
对吧？
practice.
还有你这个爱心哈，当你有这种爱心升起的时
When you
候哈，
have such
这个神都
compassions
会
in your
护佑
heart,
你，
the
哎，
Buddhas,
让你
Bodhisattvas,
更
and
家人更
deities
吉
will
祥
protect
啊，
you and
更
your
自
family
在，更
members
如意
so that they will be more
啊，因为我们
auspicious.
多世以来我们曾经做过的错事
Because
很
through
多哈，
multiple
一个累积的
reincarnations,
疾
we
病，
have done
还
many
累积
bad
的这个
deeds.
各种的
We have
业啊很多，
accumulated
所以
various
我们
many
想获得
many
真正的好，
karmas.
所以我们
In
要有
order
那
for
个福
us to
气，
get the
也
good
就是有那
deeds,
份功德，
we need to
才有那个福
accumulate
气，
our
我们
merits.
才能获得
We
真
need
正
to
的好
accumulate merits
啊。
in order
所以
to
我们
have
受
good
益的时候一
fortunes,
定要别
to
忘了
have
度
this
人
fundamental
啊。
change in us.
好，那么之后呢，大家呢一定要联络你所在地的禅堂哈，
So after
哎，
that, you
来
want to be
去
in
领
contact
取
with your
这个
centers
无霉或
so
者是
that
无霉
you
醋
can have
啊，
this,
那么有
the dried
很多国家
Plum, some places without meditation centers. It's fine. You know this method. This is a very easy method. You can learn this. If you've seen other methods on the internet, you try it. I cannot guarantee those methods is effective. But what I'm sharing with you is what we think is the most effective methods. So if you have centers around you, quickly get in touch with your centers. Try to get them so that you will benefit as well. I think we have pretty much covered a lot of this content. Let's talk about the next live broadcast. It will be next Sunday, March the 5th, and 7 p.m. for Asian time. Wishing all health, longevity, and auspiciousness. And may you have happiness too. See you next week.
神奇，我智慧了，我宽容了，我慈悲了，我自在了，因为有了你，生命变得更坚定，不忧忧无虑，因为有了你，日子不再有苦泣。不再有恐惧，我快乐了，我快乐了，我健康了，我健康了，我幸福了，我幸福了，我美丽了，我美丽因为有 幸福了，我美丽了。在茫茫人海之中，让我与你相遇。小小的红点滴，人生变得神奇。我智慧了，我宽容了，我慈悲了，我自在了。因为有了你，生命变得更坚定，不忧忧无虑。因为有了你，日子不再有哭泣，不再有恐惧。我快乐了，我快乐了，我健康了，我健康了，我幸福了，我幸福了，我美丽了，我美丽了。在茫茫人海之中，让我与你相遇。小小的红点里，人生就此欢喜。我快乐了，我健康了，我幸福了，我美丽了。在茫茫人海之中，让我与你相遇。小小的红点里，人生变得神奇。我智慧了，